What's up? Do you wanna work? Yeah. Okay, we have that. Now, next is to activate the clock. I closed the tool. I'm amazing. Scripts. Start. Amazing. There we go. Next is I need to log in to change anything. Like, let me. This okay. And somehow mute. There we go. Save and exit. No, mute. Didn't change anything at all. Like what? No way. I have just actually read the chat. No matter what's like amazing. There has to be a way. How do I do that? What's a question? How do I actually change this thing? Hero seeds. Let's see. There it is, no? Like amazing somehow. There we go. Good. Options. Audio. Master volume. Let's do 70. Sound volume. 5%, like, no, 10%. 15%. And the loot volume. 15%. This game has voice acting. I don't want to hear it. Ambient lower. 50. There we go. Now. B. Red choice in this music. Listen. There we go. Oh, let me increase this a little bit. There we go. Amazing. So, my next move is I need to activate this stuff over here. This over here. This other thing over here. Copy link. I have something open that I shouldn't have open. I don't know what yet, but I know that I have it. And I shouldn't have it open. What a great question. What is the thing that I shouldn't have opened that I have opened? True. Heroes each. Discard message down. What's next? What's next? Ah, yeah. This thing over here. Shh. Shut up, bro. Shut up. We have this. We also need to have this thing over here. Let me mute this thing too. Great. We have everything. Supposedly? I think so, yeah. And besides this, what else do I need? Like this. Yeah, well, why are the ads playing so late? What happened? Why is there so much? What? There is a what? I only came here 1 minute. Like I only started the timer 1 minute. 1 minute late. Why is there such a? I don't know. Cognitive dissonance, I guess. Whatever. Buena peje. Buenos días. What the fuck is the window for the game here? Why do you have the audio console open? What do you mean? Can open, I guess. There we go, there we have it. Hero seats, what's up? Okay. It works, everything is in order, supposedly. Ah, wait, I have a piece of text that I don't need to have. Vale. A mí me gusta la Pepsi. Welcome. Sorry. Muy buena gente. Por muchas gracias por el raid de San Diego. Muy buenas, muy buenas. Este es un canal en el que vamos a jugar Hero Six. ¿Alguien lo conoce? La mano arriba. No, perdón. Hero Six, basically. No. Muchas gracias por el raid. Also, shout out. Ahí. Muy bien. Pero bueno, no sé. Introducciones, necesitamos introducciones, algo por el estilo, porque no sé, soy una persona que hace streaming, yo también. Wow. No sé, que muy nervioso me pongo, porque yo no acostumbro a hablar en español tampoco. No soy. Soy concepto, palabra peligrosa en español, pero concepto Vtuber. Es esa cosa, eso es lo que soy. Y sí, no sé, acá se habla acá no se habla de muchas cosas realmente. Ya sé lo que se puede, supongo. Pero eso, no sé. Necesito, sí sé algo, necesito ir a buscar agua, así que nos vemos en un toque. Porque no tengo agua, así que eso, ya vengo. Sí, ya está. Muchas gracias. Es una papa con acceso clave. Exactamente, básicamente. Ese todo el lore que importa. Eso es el resumen. Muchas gracias. Sí. Ahora sí. Ya vengo. Ahora sí. Fui, dije que tenía que buscar agua. Eso era lo que pasó. Ni idea. Sí, estaba diciendo. Eh, welcome, sí. I hope you're very well. I am late to some degree. I am still setting up. I was looking for water, sorry. Welcome back, thank you. Quick explanation. Hermano de habla hispana. Yo confío que hicieron sus repeticiones en inglés, Porque yo no hablo español, o sea, sí, soy hispanohablante, pero yo no lo hablo en el stream, así que si no, no pasa ni una. Podemos aprender todos juntos, vamos a la clase de Duolingo. No. Anyway, let me finish setting up. I I still have to do that. I have 10 tabs open and my phone is out to die. Amazing. Meanwhile, what else? I can, at the very least, do this. There we are. Good evening. What am I looking for? One language, so I feel stupid? Don't worry. Better to know one language well enough than to not know two barely. Like, I don't know. I can speak both English and Spanish, and I can merely yeah, very roughly speak English and Spanish. Nah, it's to some degree, I guess. The point is learning. The point is being capable of learning to utilize them anyways. It's all good. But yeah, my point is anyways, true. I am done shutting up. Good. I was saying, yeah, that today is, I had a revelation. No, it's not a revelation. I had an idea. I want to play this other game that it's not new. Hero 6 has been around for years. Is it 10 years old at this point? Probably. But yeah, I want to play that. So that's what we're gonna do today. I was actually in the settings, setting up the audio. I am amazing. True. Already, I made context this. I already made a character and did the tutorial just to check if it works. And that's all that matters. It's functional. Besides that, I more information because I am a very professional person. Sorry, sorry for leaving without adding any other context. We like to do quote unquote philosophy here, so yeah, that's another thing to take into account, I guess. I was thinking about this stuff. I have something to begin with. Because I was actually thinking about something. I have a question, like I have a central idea, but I don't really understand though. I don't have a conclusion. That's my problem. I have a notion, I have something that I want to. I think I might be able to understand some Korean, but I'm just gonna stay. I can't. It's, I don't know. I guess let me say like this. I can understand by hearing it many Asian languages, like, how do you open them up? For example, yeah, I can to some degree speak, not speak, hear Japanese and whatnot, but I cannot speak it. I guess being around that language enough lets you understand at least a semblance of it, but it's not anything practical. Yeah, happens. I mean, okay, with the Spanish, it's an entirely different thing. I didn't believe so much, but because you can speak Spanish, as long as you pay attention to what other languages are saying, you can pretty much understand anything that is from the Roman languages, basically. Like, you can speak, what is it? You can't speak, you can understand almost entirely clearly French, Italian, Portuguese, and to some degree, as long as it isn't so, what is it, so rural, some Roman too. All of those languages, because they share so many commonalities between themselves, you are quite capable of understanding all of that. And that's something that you tend to hear, but the moment in which you put it into practice, you actually realize, to some degree, I actually can do it. It's not so impossible. What's the goal of this game? It's an action RPG, basically. That's what this is. We have this tiny thing here is the level, I guess, level 99 probably. That's the goal. And also, yeah, you in any particular Roman language, once again, is what allows you to understand the other 3 or 4 quite more easily. The issue is being capable of, I guess, having enough patience to decipher how it functions. There is like any given language unavoidably possesses its unique structure to it. The commonalities are shared because we possess the same basic structural foundational structures, I think it is called, something like that, for the formation of sentences and whatnot. But you need to, like, let's say, you need to view it 5 hours. With 5 hours, as long as you can, like, as long as you're born being capable of speaking, not born, as long as you can properly speak Spanish entirely well, with 5 hours of paying attention, you can then easily speak the other language, any other given language in terms of AI. You can then speak some, not speak, sorry, listen to some French, listen to some Italian and such. But once again, it still requires some practice, and I guess hyper-specific words will still be impossible to be capable of picking up, sadly. So, it makes sense. I mean, unavoidably, it's like, you have on English, you have Proto-Indo-European, for example, which is like another old as hell language, or more like an assumed existence of a language. And once you look back at it, you can to some extent be capable of deciphering what it says, even if you don't entirely speak it, so to say. The issue, I'd say, I don't know, it's, I feel like you say you can easily speak it, you can easily understand it, and the idea that at least I used to get is, okay, I am instantaneously going to be capable of doing it. No, you can very rapidly adapt to the deciphering of whatever it is that you are listening. But yeah, it can happen. My point is, it's great. And even if you don't have that many languages that you can speak besides English, Spanish, it's all great. To be capable of doing any one language well enough is great already, so doesn't matter at all. Also, another thing, we have this quest here out on the right side, I guess, and that's most of what I can say. I don't know. All the other quests that we have to follow, so that we can follow, basically. Yeah. So this is, yeah, I am not explaining anything. I decided to play something simply because I felt like I wanted to play it. Sorry. This here is the menu for skills and whatnot. Here you have, wow, this is the skill tree, the quote-unquote skill tree. I'm out to die. This is the skill tree. In that skill tree, you have all these colored ones are the skills available right now. We don't care about all of these. We only care about this shuriken throw for now. And besides that, what else? Vitality, these things. Statistics, basic statistics. If you have ever played any other action RPG, things make sense by themselves. Like strength equals damage, dexterity, in this case it's attack rating and critical, intelligence is magic skill, wow, energy is simply mana, armor is defense. It's simple enough, I guess. But yeah, point being, it's intuitive as long as you have played any other game of this kind. And if you haven't, I am incredibly sorry for you because I'm not going to explain most. Play the Skyrim? Yeah, it's just enough roots. You can understand it then. Yeah. It's possible to follow with that, with just that. Yeah. Also, besides that, I don't know. We are currently this kind of game follows the structure of you have the whole base experience of doing, so to speak, the acts or aka the storyline, and after that you can go and do the open world content. Not really open world, but free to do whatever you want content. We have so far probably until like level 70, level 60 or so to just follow a semi straight line. After that, we will at some point reach the end, and once that happens, we're gonna be at basically that. Yeah, we're gonna be done, and we're gonna be having a semi efficient build. But anyways, it's once again gameplay is secondary. Gameplay is just to have something to look at besides literally the BNC. But anyway, I have played Arcana. I have no clue what Arcana is. I know Gothic. I have no clue what Arcana. I never heard Gothic be called Arcana, but I know Gothic. At least that much I know. Yeah. But I was saying that I don't know. I feel like it's intuitive enough, simply put, and also it's, even if it's not intuitive that much, it's visually clean enough to say, I might have some degree of understanding out what's going on screen so far, perhaps. And even if we don't, we all act like we do. Anyways, minimap. What's the minimap for? From we have to finish over here. Basically, we're here. We have to go do this whole trail and get over here. And over here, we finally end the storyline. That's the story. Thank you. But besides that, anyway, I was trying to say before that yeah, I found one thing that I wanted to say, that I wanted to quote unquote talk about. That I was thinking about rather, and I said, yeah, you know what? Why not mention that? I have a very interesting question to try to expand on, so to speak. Yeah. Go to log for I did a two-handed wound with a weapon called the Watch, which is a two-handed flaming mace. Understandable. This, my current goal so far is probably going to be an attack speed build. This is like a class that can go and gain. Let me here. You have, what is it? Somewhere here. Increases your attack speed. Just with that, probably we can make an attack speed build. And even if we can't, I am going to make it up. That's my favorite part of video games, is theory crafting. So I am going to assume that it is possible, and we are going to go that route, even if it isn't optimal. Even if somebody who knows what's going on watches that and says, "What are you doing?" Doesn't matter. The point is to have fun. I say, as I start to get angry because I'm not moving as fast as I want to. Anyway, but yeah, the thing that I had in mind for today was there is a very interesting idea. Whenever you write, I guess mostly German philosophers, there is this mention of a notion that is Zeitgeist. Zeitgeist means the spirit of the era, of the times, basically. What most people tend to think about, what most people have in their will, what most people aim at and what not. And my point was, what's the zeitgeist of nowadays? Simply put, I don't know, I feel like when I waddle, it's an everlasting question in terms of what's currently going on right now. Like, what's the common denominator that you see out there when you look at what do other young people, what do the people around me do and whatnot and such. That was my basic thing. I feel like when I waddle, it's to some extent simple enough, because indeed the whole act of realizing, of being able of grasping that around you, the people that in some way or another influence you also could, don't always, but could share a goal with you, is very influential in every single person. And the capacity to realize, okay, are we aligned in what is going on? Are we trying to aim towards anywhere? What's the concept also? There is a general will, so to speak, of are we all acting towards something in unison, quote unquote, or is it simply existence? Because I feel like unavoidably, when you say there is a problem, let me start with that. The world is fall apart and power are trying to give as much power as they can. To some degree, I don't think it's wrong. I don't think it's wrong. The notion that I see so far is, I feel like to some extent we don't really have anything absolutely existing in terms of this is the goal. This is when you, the notion itself, when you hear about zeitgeist, it's like you can easily identify something that every single person from a certain time frame is working towards. And the only thing that I feel like could be identified is the mere act of surviving, so to speak, the mere will to outlast, so to speak, any given experience and any given difficulty that arises in the present times, but not like, we all as humans are trying to work towards this thing or that other thing. It might be a stretch, but I believe that the only actual moment in which you could identify something of that kind was when before we had something along the lines of the quote-unquote zeitgeist for going to the moon. At that point, the whole globe was focused on, we shall try to make sure that the humans can reach that moon of ours, basically. And what happened was that even, I don't think it's the best point of reference, but something along the lines of even the person who had the least in their life was worried about this thing. And nowadays, those who have nothing don't even think out that notion, so to speak. Like, if it happens that there is something to do. But if it doesn't happen, it also is no problem whatsoever, because the average person doesn't really care about much. Also, sorry, I kind of think of the world as like a constantly shaping thing, and people want to make it in a shape that only really helps the people shaping it. Yeah. It's the whole notion of, you sort of described it well before. You have this handful of things that dictate the, not exactly order, but simply how things could go. And the whole aspect of, sadly, not everyone therefore has the possibility of accessing that space of which allows the modification of reality itself, let's say. And that ends up meaning that most of the people, because they cannot access that, are bound to live a very, to some degree, a very mundane existence in which you cannot have anything to do with that to begin with. Your existence is predicated merely on the fact that you have, or you can only worry about surviving. There is nothing else for you to really think about. The person who can actually control what goes on is the one who can then, after all, afford the possibility of having in their mind, okay, what are we trying to accomplish with existence? What are we trying to accomplish with the societal issues and the societal focuses and whatnot? And that is, that is absolutely, in a sense, correct. The whole aspect of the person who cannot step out of their problems for even for a second, because for them it's impossible to separate their living conditions from the thing that they keep thinking about that therefore leads to the impossibility for that very same person to ever wonder about any other order of magnitude of problems in their own life, even if they quote unquote should. But it's the common thing. Like that's why I was saying the one who has the least. That's how you can identify if there is some sort of zeitgeist, so to speak. Even if, or if even the, what is it? The poor beggar who lives out there in the street is thinking about, I don't know, going to the moon. You can then say, yeah, okay, perhaps then there is something of that sort existing nowadays. If, therefore, you cannot see anything like that exist around you, because there is no other thing that allows you to think out this, that there is no evidence of that happening, you could very easily say, perhaps there is nothing of that sort existing anymore nowadays, or we have something. My proposition is we have something, but it is so basic that it just finds itself reduced to people are merely worrying, quote unquote, about living, which is the most basic of worries. Like, yeah, how can I make, how's the expression? How can I meet the end of the month? How can I make my money last and such? That's the only aspect that a person can, quote unquote, naturally worry about, because anything else is impossibilitated from their perspective. There is no other thing to worry about, and that makes the will of the population, quote unquote, only be defined as in the lowest kind of worry which is shared. Once again, which is only that. There is nothing else to have in mind. There is nothing else to try to focus on. There is nothing else that you see or hear other people say, yeah, I was thinking about this. I was wondering about this myself. Nowadays. Yeah. The issue of it's basically what I feel like. It's the whole explanation as to why that's the case. The whole aspect of nowadays the postmodern human lives so much centered in their own perspective and nothing else, that they cannot allow to think about what the other people want and what not. The, as you say, individualism of the current times. It's fake to say the current will of the people is to remain individualist. It's not like, I guess we still want, or freedom, quote unquote, but freedom doesn't really have that much to do with individualism itself. It will be a fake equation to perform to say, yeah, because I can be an individualist, I am being therefore a free person. That's not a coherent correlation, so to speak. But yeah, it can happen. It doesn't give, or let's say like this, it can happen, it does happen, and at the very same time, it doesn't fully give a reason as to why, even if that is the case, we are not so centered in, okay, everyone deserves to have something of their own. Because I do not care if you are or not an individualist. I do not care if you have something that you actually care for or not. I only care for my own thing, and if you have nothing, in my own existence and my life, not modified at all. No, I to some degree I understand what you mean. Don't worry. And that's the issue. I feel like to try to talk out the whole aspect of, okay, yeah, then what do we have nowadays? What's the current goal of us as people? I feel like there is nothing. Like, yeah, it's a nihilist idea to some extent, but it's not that false in terms of, yeah, we don't really have that many ideas or desires. You don't talk with someone and listen to them say, yeah, I am so looking forward to this thing. I am so interested in the future, the most normal thing nowadays is simply to be interested in the mere aspect of living another day, making sure that I can continue, that tomorrow I can be alive, simply put. And I don't know, I guess, yeah, that's unavoidably that's bad. Unavoidably that's bad. The people, the person deserves to have the possibility of thinking about many other things, not just the most basic aspect. And even if I, as a person, can by myself access other ideas, the whole the whole notion that you don't really have to worry about much, you don't really need to be preoccupied about any problem, makes it feel like current times are quite dire, let's say like that. You can sum it up as the only goal present is to be, and the other, because there is something that I can accept exists also, but the other existence thing is not just in any way something great, because what remains after the fact that you are told that you just have to make sure that you get to now be yourself is the aspect of all the other messages that come from the outside, so to speak. Like, what is the notion that the media, for example, is trying to tell you you should be caring about? What are the things that the culture around you try to dictate the matter, but in a more hyper specific way, you know? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, makes sense, makes sense. It's the whole. I. It's a dangerous word, but in the end, it's to some extent the correct one. Sort of resorting back to tribal groups and whatnot. It's not exactly that word, but still along those lines of, for us now the normal thing is only to care about the handful of things that we know and such. Also, once it goes so far down, I feel like it sort of radicalizes people into an echo chamber, which is not something that I feel like we are supposed to have. Well, not to the extent to that we can have it with the power of the interwebs. Yeah. The whole aspect, I guess, it's useful to have somebody that can tell you that what you are trying to do is great, but not so much to the degree to which, I don't know, you're going to be driven to kill another person simply because, once again, the echo chamber is telling you, yeah, you know what, it's fine for you to take the life of another person. Like, I cannot actually remember the exact name of the group, but there was, it became sort of, what the fuck? Amazing. What? Whatever. Why? Why can I see the random rolls? So great. This game is so amazing. I love playing online. Yeah. I mean, there are absolutely dozen groups. There are almost. Okay, you want a simple example? Probably any political group, not exactly every single one of them, but nowadays the whole aspect of, oh yeah, it has become a lot more about me against you and how you do not align with what I say and how I can convince my companions that you are far more of an enemy than what you are willing to accept and whatnot. There are a dozen of those, but I was in the sense of even more radical groups, more dangerous groups. Like, there was a case, quote unquote, recently enough, a guy became famous. Not a guy, literally a kid, like 13, 14-year-old kid became famous because people realized that this, like, 13-year-old created a incredibly massive cult. That's the whole basic definition of it. And because that echo chamber grew so big, it started a whole chain reaction afterwards of more people, because they were so accustomed to thinking in the same lines as that guy, imitating the same behaviors that this person had, to the degree to which that unavoidably was damaging people and whatnot. And it's bad, yeah. It's sad to see how much sometimes one can be influenced in that way on one hand, and on the other, that stuff of that sort is always existent. But still, even if it is existent, there is nothing else of a proper existence, so to speak. Like, we only have roots. We don't have a common goal in general. Like, I don't know, humanity doesn't act in unison, you know, which to some extent that's the weird thing. For some reason nowadays you say that and it sounds strange. How can you believe, how can you want the world to work in any one way or whatever? That should not be the case, no? Shouldn't we all be willing to do whatever we want? No. Sometimes it's great to also have the possibility of saying, and you know what, it's great when we can actually quote unquote unite to try to accomplish something, when you can, simply put, desire something, all of us, and not just me from my personal perspective and you from your other personal perspective. The whole aspect of the moment in which different people working together gets to accomplish more. Also, welcome Crispian, I hope you're very well. Also, 25 stream streak, that's absolutely crazy. And sorry for not seeing it. Don't mind me. I am too lost on my own thoughts. Sorry, wasn't intentional. Wasn't intentional at all. I finally give myself a break. Sorry, I was saying anyways. Something about the whole aspect of, yeah, I don't know, I feel like when I read these strains, the whole notion that, yeah, it doesn't matter if you and me have different or not notions, desires and whatnot. Now we have normalized so much the extent to which we don't care about what others desire, that it is fine then to admit that, yeah, you can do, not, it's not about the ruling, I don't need to rule over what other people want, but it doesn't feel strange to hear no one care about what we in general want. It is fine for us to never want something similar. It's freedom for the sake of what exactly? If I can wish whichever, but I don't really understand what I should be at all trying to look forward to. What am I really at all then trying to wish for, you know? I don't feel like I truly have a goal of sorts properly established. I just have a basic desire and not much else. If I can dedicate my life, let's say, to the pursuit of something that in the end only brings satisfaction to me, and the moment in which I can finally get to satisfy that pursuit, because no one else ever cared, I am all alone in my own existence, then what's the point so much of, yeah, you know what, it's so good for us to be capable of doing whatever we want, each one of us. Is that the case? I don't feel like that's the case, but does that have to be the case? Does that have to be the standard? Something along those lines is what I feel like is strange, because at some point, once again, the whole notion of, oh yeah, what is the zeitgeist and whatnot existed, but nowadays it's not found anymore. We stopped talking about what do we want in general, you know? Also, I mean, yeah, the issue, okay, let me say this. The issue is, there are a lot of groups that fall under different categories of that very same sort, and there are so many of that kind that it doesn't really exist only in one place. There are so many groups that are specialized, so to speak, in allowing spitefulness to grow even further. That the norm becomes to create that, to to ensure that that gets to be replicated. Let's say like that. Yeah. It's sadly my point is it's right what you are saying, but it's not. Sadly, it's not the only one. There are so many of those. It's amazing. It's incredibly sad. Also, excuse me, I didn't mean to ignore that. I'm struggling way too much with the redeems. I shall refund you, but at least I can do it, Crispin. I am sorry. Thank you, as always, so much for the support, and I hope you can keep being around, and I hope everything that you are working on is also going well. Because as long as you can keep having dreams of any sort, then things might as well fall on their proper place. Thank you very much for everything, and once again, get it? Not luck, but strength on your efforts. There we go. Amazing. Now we mention. I want to drink water. Anyways, I have to say something very simple. I set up a filter, but it's so trash that I'm getting literally no items so far. Amazing. I kinda. What can we do about this? Can happen. But yeah, I was saying, then we were on the whole aspect of those. What the? What, did somebody get to read what that thing said? What, did that say level 251? This game has levels past 200, like 100? What? No way. No way. This game is amazing. You're telling me that we have past level 100? Oh my god. Anyway, sorry. I got sidetracked for a second there. I shouldn't even be reading the chat. I was saying that, I don't know, there are way too many groups of that same sort that promulgate in one way or another hate. Let me actually look it up, because I'm trying to reference something, and the fun thing is I don't even remember exactly what's the name of it to give a proper reference. Let me check. What's the cult that predicates the notion? It's an accelerationist group, yeah. I know that much. But the problem is, who created it? Who was the person who created the cult that I was talking about before? I like how using different browsers gives you different results, because in this case I have to look it up in 5 different places to find finally what I'm looking for. It's a growing network of accelerationists. What the fuck? Isn't this to some extent instilling terror on the people? Like, what are you talking about? That's not the simple definition at all. That's not the definition of the word itself at all. They are grouping up way too many things under one singular definition. But let me read you one title. The New Terrorgram, a review of a growing network of accelerationist neo-Nazi groups of active pseudo-terrorists. What are you talking about, man? To some extent, it's correct, but to some extent, it's also not only that. Like, there are there is more to add to that definition. But anyways, my point was trying to be that yeah, there are way too many groups focus on the whole aspect of if we cannot promulgate anything else, then at the very least we shall try to allow hate to be created and further propagated, so that at least there is a desire to not have anything else exist. But even so, like, I am over focusing on it to some extent because it's not the only thing that exists. It's not the only thing that does its work here, so to speak, you know. It's not the only thing working. Like, for example, because that's the problem when you talk about accelerationism particularly. It's a whole ideology. You can find even quote-unquote influential, incredibly rich people, basically, like billionaires and whatnot, also exist under that or a similar flag as that one. It's not like, only the group that calls itself accelerationist is the dangerous one. No, that's the problem. But yeah, point is, internet is two sides of a coin that enhances both sides of humanity. Yeah, it's give anyone the possibility of doing things with far less personality, and you will encounter them truly what they get to be. That whole notion of, why is that guy so buffed? I'm going to get killed here. Why is this enemy so buffed? Amazing. Am I bound to die? I am bound to die. Anyway, I was trying to say that the whole aspect of how so many of these groups exist, and how indeed internet is allowing the propagation of such. But even so, none of them still fall under the category of. Therefore, that implies that in general we all are trying to work towards this goal or anything like that. It is still a handful of people. It's as if you told me, because there are a handful of people also worried about, for example, something that I saw earlier today. There is an incredibly good, I don't know them, but I know that there is a group trying to be created of people interested in animal shelters and such. So simply because I saw them, now I say, therefore that means that the internet in general also is wondering and hoping or trying to do something about the whole aspect of how we as people interact with animals and such. It is still an incredibly limited aspect of reality, and a very limited handful of people, those who are actually doing anything related to that. The rest don't have anything to do with that. And I don't know, it's, in general, point is that it feels always weird to see, to realize that so many of those exist, but it's not like only now that they are present. There has always been something of that sort around. Like, what is a minimally good example? There was this painter who, for example, loved cats so much. Later on, he went crazy, but because he loved cats so much, he made an entire artistic movement, so that because of him, then many historians now can conclude we tend to have a different approach to animals, but that was still something secluded to one person, not something that happened in the entire will of the world. It was the influence of a person, the will of one singular individual acting on the rest of the world, so to speak. And you can always say stuff like that is what moves the rest to change. Like, it always starts with one human doing something, then the rest following. Unavoidably, the whole, like, what's a proper example? When you are in a theater, and the spectacle is over, it's not until the first person claps that everyone else then finally follows. Even if you know that you should be clapping, the nature is to wait for someone else to start the whole clapping act, so that you can then follow behind and say, you know what, we're all doing this, and now it means that it is fine for me to do the same. But even if we sometimes know what is the goal, what is the point, and what is the thing that we should be doing, we are not bound to always be acting on that. So, point being, that I don't know, I don't feel like still that means something related to the whole aspect of how can we try to identify what's the current goal of humanity, if there is any. I don't know. Survival is good, but that's not it, is it? I feel like on a level it's like a meme, but to some other extent true, because in the end I care about economics enough to the extent to which I also participate in that whole system. The meme of to ensure that the shareholders gain, you know? The whole aspect of, yeah, I make sure that the people who are rich remain rich. And not exactly because I want to, but simply because I participate in that very same system, which allows me to exist and whatnot. But I don't know. Point is, life is difficult, and it's only getting more difficult nowadays. And I don't know. I guess it's funny to see that despite everything else, if you ask Silicon Valley, I feel like they will say is make the singularity. Yeah, I guess so. I don't know. To some extent, I understand what you mean, but to some other extent, for example, we are already seeing so many of that very same people abandon the whole ship out of nowhere in a very sudden move, for example, inside of the market and whatnot. Many of those very same what were before named AI bros are now disappearing from the whole scene, and what is it? Rug pulling that there are fundings from the different companies and whatnot. Like, what was a good example? I don't know exactly the name of the AI, but one of them got their whole cash removed from them. Like, their fundings were cut off, basically. And many of those, OpenAI, was it? Yeah, I have to trust you that. OpenAI, for example, let's say, was the one that got their fundings cut off, and because they ended up having that, then they had to shut down their whole operations, and because of that, now the very same group who was so interested months or weeks ago in saying, yeah, this is the future, had to go and make a completely opposite statement in terms of, okay, this isn't working anymore, we have to retire from this, and this is nothing else. This is the end. There is nothing else after this in this field for us. And there are many of those kind. Like, it's difficult to be willing sometimes to believe what it was more of a promise to buy most of the incoming production. Yeah. There are. That's what I mean, basically. Yeah, that they make many promises, but the problem is, as an individual, you can believe what they say, but you also have to understand many times what they are talking about is, once again, production, and with production, the whole aspect of, therefore, there has to be some gain, because the production is made for the sake of some goal, and that goal is, once again, to increase gains and whatnot. There is no production for the sake of production itself. There is no, what's the word, like, person who acts out of a noble cause, who says, you know what, we shall put so many of our fundings to, I don't know, research an AI that will for sure change the world in a positive way. Like, what's one of the main guys, for example, like Sam Altman, I think it is his name, I think. I sorry for citing stuff wrong. But that guy, for example, who not used to, still says, yeah, technology is the future. Even that guy is operating under a private business and doing so with the hopes of he himself gaining enough of a payback from what he did. He's already a multi-millionaire, or I don't know, I think a multi-billionaire is like way too much. Probably not that rich. He's quantifiably rich to the degree to which people can realize that, yeah, stuff, what he says, but what his actions demonstrate that he's truly trying to accomplish are different things. That's my point. And I don't know. I feel like whenever you hear somebody from Silicon Valley, it's like, hey, I don't really know if what you're telling me is the honest goal of your action, or if you're doing the whole aspect of, yeah, because we as investors are so hoping that things go in the right direction so that we can finally ensure the sustainability of our company for the sake of continuing operations, which translates to we are making enough money. We want to keep making money, and if it's possible, we want to make even more money. But because corporate speech is so utterly deranged sometimes and so distant from reality, until you can finally catch how to read between the lines, so to speak, you don't really, it doesn't really make as much sense, or it makes sense in the way in which they want it to make sense, you know? Same way in which, for example, even the messages that that different countries send out act in the interpopulation, like, yeah, holy moly. Why did I get it? Why are there level 36? Amazing. I was saying, anyways, despite that, I don't know. I feel like it's difficult to understand that it's not the best group to trust sometimes. But well, that's life, I guess. So can I kill them, or am I going to die here yet again? I can. Okay, we're gonna be here for 3 minutes, running from 3 skeletons. And I cannot even zoom to show them better. Amazing. This game has the benefit of being pixel art, but also the disadvantage of being pixel art. Probably that's something that I love about these games. Pixel art looks so well, but on stream many times it looks so ass, because for some reason streaming cannot handle pixels that well. Am I going to get a ricochet? Yeah, that was my goal. At some point. I mean, I am slowly progressing. I'm barely level 8, so I don't know. We have like, let's say, how much? What? It's 1 a.m. So probably in the next 3 hours or so that's going to happen. Until then, stay tuned, guys. First, I have to kill these guys. Amazing. Yeah. No. Okay, guys. Amazing. Gameplay. My favorite part of the game. At the very least, this isn't hardcore, so I don't have to worry about dying 20 times in a row. But yeah, the problem is Ricochet is 1, 2, 3, 4 upgrades away. And the problem besides that also is that it's 6. Wait a minute. Upgrades away. Not exactly 6. That's my point. Anyway, I think most mega corporations are kind of like, they're not pyramid schemes, but I feel like they sort of function like one in a money sense. But in like, I don't really know how. What? Certainly, it's certainly difficult to get the idea. I don't know. The whole notion probably. Mega corporations are based on the leader is the one who gets the most cash out of doing nothing, simply because you got to inherit sometimes the position of highest power you get after that to remain in that power, even if you yourself are contributing nothing to what the company is actually doing in the world. Simply because you exist there, you get to be given the dividends, so to speak, and whatnot. Not exactly dividends, because you're the leader of the company, therefore you are having a paycheck and whatnot, but it is still about, yeah, you are lucky enough to gain whatever you gain for the sake of existing. And the lowest denominator, as in the average worker, is the one who has to put so much of their time, their soul, their will into making sure that the company can keep on striving, basically like that. What the fuck? A mimic? Also, we can see HP numbers. Why don't I activate that? Key? Who is he? He kind of went towards more. I have no clue who you mean when you say he, but I guess. Time to wait for that. Meanwhile, trying to make sure that the mimic dies. There we go. I still get no items. I need to change this filter because I literally have nothing equipped so far. Besides the very first weapon that you start the game with, like, for some reason this became a challenge run when it literally was not the goal. Vitality. Give me vitality. Give me... Time to look at the filter screen for 5 minutes while I change the filters. Give me a second, please, and thank you very much. I fucked up. I didn't mean to do it. Gameplay. Loot filter. Wow, my favorite part of the game. Setting up the loot filter. Yeah. Fuck. I guess we can have B stuff. B, because otherwise nothing F is dropping. There is a class that actually gets more drops, but I'm not playing it, so I overestimated my capacities. There we go. Filter already exists. Override in the item sensor rings. There we go. Yes. With this, we're probably not going to move as slowly. Also, can I buy stuff from you? You sell nothing? What's up with you? Okay, let's see. Ah, it all makes sense. I have a top chat activated. I am so dumb. Sorry. That's why the last one that you sent disappeared before. I am... Excuse me. Excuse me. Wasn't intentional. Yeah. Amazing. Sorry. I was saying. Destroy the morals and ethics of the peoples as work for it. Huh? Whether intentionally or not, so I feel like it more or less become some kind of devourer of the spirit of the people. Well, okay. If I understand it correctly, then yeah. The reply to that will be, whether to some extent the issue with most corporations is that they have been slowly pushing towards the normalization of the desire, the degree to which they desire profit makes the average person slave themselves for the sake of the company, and this ends up paying back in such a way that literally everyone suffers, because even the leader of the corporation has to deal with way too much backlash. But because we have once again normalized to such an extent the degree to which all of those things operate, as in the corporations themselves are allowed to operate within those guidelines, then the consequences of that same thing is that for all of us it is absolutely fine, even if I have to work. Like, for example, here in Argentina, we are now talking about trying to increase the working hours of some people, like I think it is pharmacists, clinicians, and such. They cannot have. They have 24 working hours throughout the week. They should have 36 hours throughout the week. And the problem is, as long as you have a normal distribution, that's a healthy amount, because unavoidably the whole desire to have a regular amount of distribution of also rest days, because you occupy a position, you work in a field in which you need to be capable of operating to the best of your capacities. You cannot be that tired. You cannot be operating at, let's say, your 50-60% simply because somebody said, you know what, we need you to come here to work an extra half hour or so. No. Once again, workers of that kind have already gained so many merits that give them the possibility to rest before. But nowadays we are discussing, and in general, is the whole degree of having them suffer because of that. I myself, no, I don't work in the industry, in the health industry and such, medicine industry and whatnot. My field, I work, I guess, in the, I don't even work itself to begin with. I operate within the boundaries of a student more than anything else. My family is the one that does. That's why I know so much about it. That's the whole context of why I am so informed about what medics do and what's not. Like, the notion is, my uncle, who is somebody who needs to take care of a children, suddenly has to work way too much now, to the point to which, if we have to speak, he's already hurting the relationship that he ends up having with his children, simply because the notion now is he needs to work more because the state is imposing it, not because he chose to. The difference between, I understand that there might be consequences, but I am willingly acting upon that myself, and I'm self-inflicting the pain. It's not something that comes from the outside. No, in this case it is the state saying, yeah, this has to happen, even if you don't feel like having that actually be the case. And you have to go through this whole process, even if you yourself are not truly willing to do that, because otherwise he's at the risk of literally losing his soul. Like, the place in which you work already told him, if you do not accept these conditions, we already have, holy shit, we already have another person who is being considered for your very same position. That's the problem. The whole over competitiveness of, to which even works of that kind are being treated. The degree to which even the nature of those places is allowing to treat what is in its very essence, healthcare system and whatnot, as yet another kind of industry. That's the problem itself. And that was what I was trying to illustrate, I guess. That, yeah, it's dire, the situation is dire, but I don't know, to some other extent, it's like, I mean, particularly in Argentina, it's way too much of a complicated situation from all ends, sadly. So to get into the whole politics of why that's the case, it's also quite hard. Like, it ends up making some sense to some extent, sadly. It's not the best, but it ends up making some sense, because of the different reasons that make it be the case. But yeah. Anyway, at least my point was, or no, my take from all of that is, at least, is that one can continue doing what they want, despite the impositions from their working place, in that sense. Like, well, no, yeah, okay, there is a whole notion also with associated with all of that, sadly, that you are quote-unquote free to stop working. You're not really free to stop working. You are free to try and get another work in a different job, quote-unquote, as in a different place, but that's never ensured, so you're free to abandon your current working place and try your luck out there. But that never ensures that you're actually going to get one. You're just putting yourself at risk. You are sacrificing everything that you already have for the sake of seeing if you might get lucky or not out there. And most people don't get the actual opportunity. Even if your whole curriculum is good enough, you never get offered a position in itself. That never happens, sadly. And I don't know, it's once again the complications of why that's the case in a place like this, and why nepotism is so still in the whole society, is something of its entirely in and of itself. Also, what the fuck is this? Why do we have a skill tree now? Why do we, what? Amazing! We have skill trees now? This game became so keen out of nowhere. Amazing. Anyways, stop looking at that. Oh, I was saying. Wow. I didn't expect that. The situation is weird. And so many times it feels like trying to accomplish anything thanks to that is still impossible. It's so much of the point that you can make out of that then becomes so much of what could be the desire of a person ends up being impossibilitated because you end up realizing that nowadays it is the worst time possible to wish to try to change anything, because every single thing seems to be operating almost against you, and every single thing seems to be way too big for you to do anything particularly. From your perspective, what can you accomplish as a single individual? What can you change in the current order of things in the world, and whatnot? Individuality is not that's the point that I was trying to make before. Individuality is not the reason, it's the result of living in a world in which everything that you try yourself leads to nothing itself, because the norm is for everything to have scaled so out of control that I as a person cannot influence an entire corporation, much less the multi-corporation states and the multiple groups that quote unquote once again dominates the world. Therefore, I don't have any other solution than to reside within just my own vision of the world and just my own bubble and my own speck of interest and nothing else. That's what I was trying to say. Yeah. But I don't know. I feel like unavoidably, to some extent, the question was not all that innocent, because unavoidably the conclusion is incredibly nihilistic in nature. Like, yeah, therefore that means that everyone is by themselves now. The world is over. No, that's not the point. What's the point? Great question. No clue. To try to recapture something along the lines of a will which actually lets you act in accordance to your true desires, even if you can realize that other forces repel you or try to repel you from actually gaining what you want. But that's to some extent asking too much. Like, are we truly trying to say that the person has to be so willing to sacrifice so much of themselves for the sake of fighting for what they want? Nowadays, even if we don't have as bad of a situation, it is still true that you risk dying if you choose to sacrifice your existence for the sake of accomplishing your goal, so to speak. Even if your goal is something quote-unquote noble, you're still at the risk of, yeah, I said dying, and in itself, it sounds incredibly dramatic, but it is still the case that you choose to only work in a field that you love, and if the field that you chose doesn't pay that well, then you are condemned to die of starvation because you cannot feed yourself, much less if you have other people to also sustain. Then, if you choose to work in the thing that you love the most, and no one cares, you ensure that your work has no way of bringing any kind of sustain to you, even. It's individualism still. It's not like the great province that it used to be like before. I guess there was a time in which you could lie to other people and make them believe whatever you said in terms of, yeah, you know what, today I will go out and make somebody understand, quote unquote, or yeah, I said it before, believe that it is the best thing actually for them to buy the things that I create, even if what I make is of the lowest quality. Nowadays, there is such a huge degree of offer from so many places that even if what you actually offer is old, there is a competitor out there which can outdo you simply because you have no production power compared to what they can output. There is, I remember having read out that before, the whole notion of against the markets which can produce so much for so little, the tiny creator, so to speak, not exactly with those terms, the tiny producer finds its capacities diminished because unavoidably they cannot compete, they cannot do as much, they cannot give of themselves as much as what the market in itself, quote unquote, demands. But I don't know, it's the point is something else, anyways. Life is the point is something else, I guess. Yeah. This is getting too nihilistic for me, so yeah, I don't know. We have to get out of here. We have to think out the rainbow and all its wonders or something like that. Also, I like having no damage whatsoever. This game is amazing. But yeah, that was, I guess, then most of my point. That you can identify there seems to be no actual will of the general, like, surviving is not really a will. Surviving is the most basic human nature, and individualism itself is not also something that we all want. It's just what we can all afford to have, because in the end, any other thing to desire ends up being squashed by those who truly are capable of competing against the tiny singular human being and its basic hopes of a better day. But anyways, life is great anyways. I don't know. My conclusion, you can understand that even if that is all the case, it doesn't mean that we are impeded from being. It's like, even if all of that applies, the desire to negate that these are still good times, quote unquote, remains, but it is still invalid to do so, because even with all of these problems, once again, the eternal proclamation of there are so many other great things going on, there are so many other knowledge in itself allows the development of even more knowledge, and today we are still at a point in history, in time, in which it is possible for anyone to actually still work on something. Perhaps, yes, the whole aspect of sadly your whole life, but at the same time, that's not so bad once you understand that you can find something that you truly love, stick to it, and from that gain something. From the discovery of something that you truly admire, from the usage of some sort of ancient technique that was abandoned, whatever it is that you actually want to do, that lets you continue and, going back to what I said before, of sustain yourself, not because you're basing your existence on the hopes of others, but rather because you can do and give out to the world something that the rest can claim is useful. Simply because of that, nowadays we still have not exactly as many, but enough opportunities for people to be capable of trying to make it, finding ways to make it in the world as a living organism, so to speak. But I don't know. The moment in which you go out there, sometimes things stop feeling that optimistic, I guess. Like, you actually talk with somebody who is trying to succeed, and you know, you also are. It's easy to forget all the other existing problems that somebody can have. Like, did you consider how many times can somebody actually do what they want, or how many times responsibilities are still existent in the life of every single person, sadly. So sometimes it's absolutely possible for somebody to abandon what they want, not because they realize that they don't like it anymore, but simply because what they wanted was removed from their possibilities, because their responsibilities overweight, won the battle in terms of what they had to pay attention to. Like, even if I like doing something like this, tomorrow, if something removes me from this place and forces me to focus on an entirely different aspect of my existence, there is nothing to really change there. There is nothing that I can really honestly do to make sure that that doesn't happen anymore. But I don't know. Life. It's... Yeah, I don't really find myself satisfied with the conclusion. There has to be something that I'm missing. The question is exactly what. Also, this character uses way too much mana. I cannot attack consistently enough. I kinda hate it. I have a different skill. What if I use the different skill instead of this one? Like, I'm using this one simply because it's arranged. I perhaps don't need to do that. Let's see. You are... What are you? Attack speed, attacks damage. 4 mana. If I level you up to the maximum, you only cost 10. This one was costing like 14. Okay. And this thing is... I like that this sim allows you to so rapidly switch your wool. That's amazing. Okay, we shall see if this works. Something tells me that it isn't going to work at all. Something tells me that I am going to die. Oh my god. The problem, I think, is the lack of items. But that can happen. What is there to do about that? Change the fire to filter it again. Can we set up the filter for a third time? Indeed we can. We are getting rid only of the lowest quality, I guess. Like, let's accept anything from Mythic and Satanic. Self-care? Yeah. It's a good time because I have to collect 20,000 buttons meanwhile here, so... We will see. Amazing. If I keep getting nothing, I guess I have to get rid of the filter. What a pain. What if I just use no filter whatsoever? For a while, at least, until I get some stuff that lets me sustain myself. What if? It could work, no? Huh? Okay, I have everything in order. Save filter. Save as. This. Loot filter, which one? No? Cancel. This one. Confirm. Now. Emote menu. How do I emote, man? Only God knows how to emote. What a game. Okay, that's that. Here, I have to change my skill. What is out of this tray? How do you even use that tray to begin with? So this thing is actually horrible because it doesn't do any damage whatsoever. This one is better, even if I have no mana to sustain it. Okay, the upgrade is saved. Wait, what does the other thing do? Critical extractions. Meaningless. Greetings, what can I do? Can you sell me something? Why do you have nothing? What's up with this seller? There we go. How much damage do I have? 2 to 5. So? Absolutely trashed the guy. Amazing. Attacks can hit multiple enemies. Confirm. Can I? Huh? What's up with the character? Why is it loading? What's the character loading? What? What do you mean? Why was my character loading? Whatever, man. Also, how do you refresh your shop? Can you refresh your shop? You are not going to refresh your shop. Why do we have a buff? Live by the sword. Huh? Excuse me? What? What? Whatever. Too many questions, I shouldn't be so worried. It's fine, it's all great. This game is amazing, doesn't matter. Also, I'm back here, now with some stuff in the ground actually, because I have a horrible filter. Who could have expected that? Main? I needed higher level. Amazing. What do we have here? Let's see. Letter world. These have so many stats also. Crazy. +1 to all attributes. Good. Attack speed. Good. So I can use this thing. The only problem is, why do I get a random buff from a level 30? Yeah, 30. What? Why? Only God knows. We are fine. We are winning, I guess. Such is the experience of playing us. You see, everything works here. Why? Because I have no filter anymore. Level 16? What's up with the drops here? What? No way. Why are you giving me this impossible to utilize the drops? Is the game broken? I cannot be moving much faster than what I should be. No way. Only God knows, yes. Also, this guy still kills me, like, almost instantaneously. Amazing. But oh well. Aren't we bound to win anyways? Miss shot. Favorite part about fighting enemies. Dying to their attacks almost instantaneously. And I thought that I was getting debuffed. I do 5 damage with each attack. Amazing. You're such an amazing character. What a great character I chose to wool. Can happen. There we go. Anyway. It's not time to regret our decisions. Did you equip this? No. Everything is actually level 16. Why? What's... I got gear. I got like absolutely horrible stuff. But yeah, let's say that I got something. Wait. Why is everything level 16? It's all fine. Also, I'm stuck. I love my impossible to understand video game. Nothing better. Oh my god, nothing better than that. At least I have a sword, so I don't have any more trash damage. Mid chains? What is mid chains? Mid charts? Ah! Makes sense. Makes sense. Makes sense. But what is still? What is mid charts? Talking about context? Question mark? Ah. But what is mid? I have no clue. I am sorry. I'm missing something. You want to rest? I guess. What is a mid charge? What? What is the innuendo here? I feel like what? I'm missing something. What are we talking about? Excuse me. What? You're anyway. Wow. Balto. They gain a charge from it. Understandable. Okay, thank you. Now I understand. Now it makes sense. I was like, what the fuck are you talking about? But no, thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you for giving me that so precious context. What have you think? Their swords better? Understandable. I have no clue. At some point here, we are going to win. I tried to play Path of Exile before, and it failed. I shouldn't be trying to do my own stuff. I should be following a guide, but one day I will learn my lesson, or it will work out by itself somehow. Either way, we have won. But point is, just keep playing, don't worry. Even if it doesn't make that much sense, keep playing. Why? Gallery chance, understandable. It sounds like an interesting game. That's all that I can say. Because no, I don't know which game you're talking about. I am enemies have mana drain. I'm not somebody who already knows that many games. I know a handful, I guess. No, there are way too many games. That's the problem. There are too many things out there. Why is there so much stuff? Why don't we have like 5 titles that everyone knows about and nothing else? It's the overpopulated market. Yeah. It's amazing. At the very least, there is something for everyone out there. But it is Limbus. Okay. I understand it. I understand at least what's the franchise. No. Good. So wait, what is this? At some point, this thing is going to work out. I just have to keep trusting the process. Meanwhile, we're gonna be struggling so incredibly hard. But anyways, I haven't really been saying anything, so it is actually kind of upsetting that I get nothing that for real, nothing to actually keep. Why? What a great question. Can happen, I guess. No need to actually understand why. But point being, despite the game being whatever, life still continues. Well, malformed pumping. Oh, probably. There we go. No, I am actually trying to think about it. Trying to finish the idea that I had before, trying to find a way in which it doesn't feel negative, because it's depressing to say, yeah, you know what, therefore it means that unavoidably there is nothing to do. That's my actual issue. I feel like it's annoying the moment in which any kind of notion, let's say like this, ideas themselves most times don't really have an absolutely horrible ending. It's far easier for me to declare that they do, so that I don't have to keep thinking about them in itself. If I do not have to worry about what's the proper way in which I can solve the notion that is driving me crazy, then that means that I am free to continue my own way without ever having to reflect on what happened before. Because, as always, it is not the first time that I have said that this thing is impossible to fix. There have been many multiple times in which I might have also done the same. And this feeling just like that, similar in almost always, is bad. Because indeed, I don't know, I don't think that the solution is to say therefore, even if we do not hope for anything in general, that doesn't mean that it is impossible, I guess, for example, for people to hope for things themselves, you know? It's not simply because I cannot have that much of a big dream myself, that means that we will never have a great dream in unison. It doesn't mean that if we were capable of doing that before, for example, hyperconnectivity, doesn't that allow people to be capable of, in some way, what we were saying before? If I can talk to other people, if I can get in contact with others, if I can establish a conversation and establish such a beautiful connection like that through internet without even needing to move myself through the entire globe, is that truly something that I have to worry so much about? Is that truly that something that therefore means always that I will never be capable of accomplishing any great connection to other people, to the rest of the desires of others? Can't I be participant? I don't need to. That's what I feel like is the solution that most people find, I guess. I don't really need to think so much about what the real point of life is, quote unquote, because I can establish whichever thing I want myself. The zeitgeist of the current era is one in which everyone has become not selfish, but rather existentialist by nature, because everyone understands that I can say and do whatever I feel like, even if that's not exactly the way in which we all talk about the notions that drive us to be, let's say like that. And this is so much the case that everyone is willing to go out of their way to make sure that whichever thing we do, at least we are doing something that we care about in one way or another, ourselves. Yeah. Like that it sounds well. Also, this is a Buster Sword? Or am I losing it? This is a Buster Sword, no? It's, you could say then, individualism became the formula for everyone because everything else is not just inaccessible, but rather unthinkable of, when the norm is to try to at least ensure your survivalship, and when to be so willing to think for others, or to think about others, can, in so many cases now, mean equal so much of a loss of your own existence, so much of a sacrifice for something that might not give you anything in return, let's say. So, the norm now is to find something that lets you be, and after that, we try to live then, thinking about the rest. But the problem, once again, is that the realization of all the different issues pertaining to how the establishment of proper things that let us survive has driven us to realize that, and I don't really have that much of an easy time setting up myself and setting up stuff that lets me enjoy life in the way in which I want it to. Yeah, in the way in which I wanted to enjoy it, basically. So, all of that is almost eternally in effect. Because to hope for something now is to make a declaration utterly difficult. Because in the end, so much of the declaration that comes with, I do want these things, is also accompanied by the realization that there are so many things wrong with this world already. There are so many things acting difficult in the action itself of being in any other way for us that it is almost in no way surprising for us, simply because of that. That yeah, trying then to accomplish something from one's own perspective leads to bad consequences and leads to undesired obstacles and such. But I don't know. I'm not really feeling entirely satisfied still. But I should stop beating that same chorus. It has been 2 hours of talking about the same thing. At some point. It's not a simple question anyways. It's not like, yeah, today I find the answer for what we all want to do in life. Kinda complicated. In itself, like, quite hard, actually. Here. It's just that, oh my god, still with the same thing, man? Yes, sorry. It always is strange. How come we truly have lost a general thing for all of us? Are things that dire that we truly cannot wish something all of us like? For example, you can say it like this. I don't think it is an entirely precise analysis, unavoidably, but you could say that when you're a kid, you're willing to believe that something of that sort can exist. How come now we all say, nah, yeah, well, we as grown-ups say that it is meaningless to wish what everyone else also wishes and such? What do you mean that it is normal for us to not anymore have anything of this kind exist in our life? Why is that the case then? And it's not so much really about why we are willing to accept that. Can happen. But why is the existence of that something that we truly are so unbaffled by? Basically, yeah. Also, can I equip this thing? I cannot equip this thing. Oh. I can. Wait. Yeah. Wait. This is it. This is it. We have it. Oh my god. Okay, we can win. We finally got a weapon that can let us win some extent. After so much struggling. Yeah. So what's up with this? Why are you not an interactable? There we go. Yeah, I am doing out of nowhere. Indeed, I am doing way too much damage out of nowhere. So we are amazingly well. Life shines brightly on those who are willing to remain hopeful. Sometimes it's just about the process of staying like that, no matter what. But the issue is that to have that happen, one has to be willing to keep that inner children alive, and so much of life is about removing it, about not being in that very same way expectant of reality, willing to look forward to things, desiring of anything. Why then being like that is hard becomes no more a wonder but rather an unlimited eternal issue. Because after all, yeah, I can't so easily say that I have the interest in sustaining my hopefulness. I am here just to continue moving, doing what I barely can, adjusting myself to what barely happens, and barely being most of the time. Something like that. Anyways, what I get finally have something that works. Not. Why are all items level 16? I wonder so much about that myself. But I don't really need an explanation, I guess. If I needed one, for sure they would have given me one, no? For sure, no? Also, can I dodge attacks with the sound like? Can I? It seems to be the case, no? Also, yeah, I never said that, but this game has a sound mechanic. Like, it's amazing. It's a 2D platformer, isometrical 2D, with some platformer elements, actually. Amazing, amazing. It's Kino, basically. That's my point. That it is an amazing game, and people should play it. But should you buy it? I don't know. This company and its practices? Some companies do a good enough so to be deserving of that paycheck, but some others don't really deserve. But aren't we in an established platform where the norm is for everyone here to say, yeah, your things and whatnot? Isn't to say, you know what, you should pirate stuff. Absolutely valid in the end, like, isn't that the case? Who knows? Quote unquote, who cares? Why are all the here of the items so high? Actually, like, why am I getting level 20 items? What's up with that? Can you give me any explanation whatsoever, video game? Any? I would be incredibly happy if you gave me even one. Why is this the case? Happens. But yeah, point is, also, now that I started to play this, I guess we're going to try to finish our run with this. It's one of those many games. It's amazing. So many things to do in this world that it is. I haven't tried to think about that. I don't know how many people can actually finish all the games that they start, but for sure, I myself cannot really do that. Most of the time, I don't really have the opportunity of doing that. Sadly, not that I don't have the opportunity. I get accustomed to not doing it a lot. To the degree which indeed that's bad. But we're going to try and see if I can play this and somehow finish this playthrough at some point. Like, I reached the quote-unquote end. Sadly, games of this sort don't really have a strict end, and so we have to suppose at some point that it finishes, even if it doesn't truly do so, darling. But at least we have that option of it also. We can adjust to that. Also, where is the exit? Where is my exit? My man? Here, yeah. No? What is the exit in this area? Somewhere there is an exit. The question is where? Doesn't matter. At some point it's going to appear, I guess. And even if it doesn't, we don't worry about that. Here. Witching River? Isn't here where I was before? No, right? How to assume? It was. It was. So, where to next, my man? What an amazing gameplay. Me jumping around. But I mean, we already did that before, literally when I was playing Maxo. And we're accustomed to seeing the same thing happen 20 times in different iterations. Isn't that the main mechanic in most games anyways? You having to travel from place A to place B, having to enjoy the experience, quote unquote. But it's all good. It actually is all good. So yeah, it's whatever. I like how much stuff is present in the map. And I don't even know if this game... I know, for example, Path of Exile has so many modifiers that you can literally make a character wipe the entire screen with one skill. I don't know if this game has that actually. I am not that well acquainted with what happens here, so if it doesn't and I have to actually be absolutely engaged every single time, it's fine. It's part of the experience, I guess. Can I leave? Okay, enough time. Let me drink another tiny, not exactly a break, but simply let me drink some water and whatnot. That's been so much. Okay. How do I even open the map? How did I open it before? Huh? What? Oh my god. How did I... Okay. N is the... Is the emote wheel amazing? Life is so amazing, man. I can emote. Yeah. Also level 16. It costs so much energy to upkeep one singular skill. No way. Can happen. What is my mana replenish 8? Nine. Good enough. This is getting so dire, man. Identify all items. Buy, sell. I can equip this, so I sell. This and this, sell this and this. What is the ring? Sockets. Good enough. No. Can I? No. Can I equip a shield? I can. Wow. Can I confirm? Can I really? You're telling me that I can actually equip a shield? No way. I can? Ah, no, I can't. I can't. No, wait, I can't. I was so happy for a second there. But unavoidably. Couldn't last that long. Going to buy literally tier 1 stuff is so sad, my man, but it's whatever. Apply Destiny Shard. What is a Destiny Shard? What? Also, I like how, for some reason, the inventory is lying. It can happen, I guess. Physical damage, life stolen, fire skill, poison, arcane. What is this thing? Ranged and projectile, understood. Any equipment. Can you extra here? Can be used on an item up to S tier to either increase or decrease its level to or corrupt the item. If your destiny is positive, it enhances any item, but if it is negative, anything can happen. What is this? Tier D. Craft. Did anything actually change? I guess not. Whatever. Absolutely whatever. Level 92? Amazing. How did people already get to level 92? How, man. People know the games so well sometimes. It's crazy. Also, what is all of this? Black hole. What's 20 black hole? Jewelry and socket towel slot. Understandable. And this over here is defensive node, attack speed, cool to damage, lightning skill. I see. Also, I have a mission here that I didn't do. Let's go. How did that happen? There is an NPC that I didn't see somehow. Did it actually generate? No way. My favorite part about games when nothing is specific, when you're absolutely lost. Why aren't I a grown-up person? Don't I exist to enjoy the game? With whichever difficulties it presents to me? Can I know? How do I actually change? How do I change the instance? Here. How do I reset the instance rather, like? I love my clunkiness in videos. Nothing better than that. How much time have I been playing, man? I am about to lose it. What is this video? And it's not really that frustrating. I literally just got angry because of one mission. Okay, only 2 hours. Yeah. Calm down, brother. Let's take clunkiness of the experience. Watch me die because I decided to drink some water while dancing areas. Amazing. True. Anyways. Wait. Why are enemies dying out of nowhere for... Oh my god. Oh my god. The literal thing that I was looking for is placed here. Good. Whatever you have to say. Yes. Let's go ahead and do your mission. I don't know. I guess Sometimes, once again, things are so unclear that it feels absolutely annoying to be playing without any clue about what needs to happen. But that's why video games imitate reality, because that's most of the world anyways. Most of what happens never makes any sense whatsoever, so meaningless to complain so much about that. It's just that, let's say like this, yeah, when the possibility of not having to deal with that very same unexplainableness exists, why not have that exist instead of making me guess so much what actually has to happen and what not? Why not give me the possibility of not having to wonder for 50 minutes what's the goal? I don't know. I guess I think it sounds well. To some degree, I think it sounds well, but I feel like it's honest enough. There is an aspect I have to assume that has a lot to do with that very same notion of probably, most certainly, the moment in which I have an incredibly repetitive life, I am more than willing to play something like this. If my day is based around going from the office to my house to the bed to waking up to the car to the office to then repeat the whole cycle every single time, then it starts making a lot more sense that I will be willing to play something that requires me to think so incredibly hard about what's quote unquote happening, because whichever thing it is that's happening right now is 10 times better than what goes on in my absolutely repetitive existence. So I am willing to take it as something great when there is that degree of unpredictability, and when something finally for once lets me use my mind in a way in which I don't feel so lost and so trapped into boredom of, once again, that very same repetitiveness that has already occupied so much of my life before. I have to. I don't really. Yeah, no, I was gonna say I have to assume that's the explanation. I don't think that's the proper explanation. How do you even talk about it then? Like, why do most people are so willing to like games like that are so much about the mystery of what has to happen? But in the proper sense of the game is so obtuse to actually understand. Holy, what did it do? 200. Ah, it's fine. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. Sorry. It's fine. I got way too nervous unnecessarily. I was saying, yeah, the whole aspect of then how do you even try to actually explain why people are so willing to say then that it is great or good or fine to have all of those things existing that way? What the fuck? Somebody has been banned? No way. So over for that person. The global chat ban shame. Anyway, I was saying that, yeah, I don't know, the whole aspect of who knows then what is the true explanation. Mystery is always interesting, but I am not playing this game for the mystery of it. Why is it then so hard to understand what goes on sometimes? Why is the nature to have it be like that to begin with? Like, why are people so willing to say, wow, yeah, you know what's the great thing out of this game? That it requires me to have so much knowledge about all of what's happening here. And I clap because I feel like I understand it somehow. I don't know. It's. I don't know. I was gonna say something, but that's well. Because the answer is, no, una orderly, therefore that means that you have associated yourself with the game simply because you have decided to say that it is good based on the amount of time that you have already spent playing it and such that, but that's not it. Like, new people still play it. That you have associated with the game in that way doesn't justify new people still wanting to play something that is quote unquote so well. So, what's the actual explanation then? Simply that people like No, yeah, great. So simply that people like games like this, true. So true, brother. But why? The question is why? Like, why does it happen that I am willing to play something like that? Because even those layers of annoyance are not really that bad. When you take into consideration the final experience, even those layers of clunkiness justify the whole experience. The whole, what's, this is not at all the place to use that notion, but the whole static conception of the game is better. Because when you are everything, all the layers on top of one another, then it finally becomes a justified experience. Then you finally say, wow, what a great game. Even if it has its downsides, it is still an experience that I would go throughout, go through all over again. Because it is like that, it is very good. Wow. I guess I literally have no actual clue as to why it is like that. Okay, we are finally in a point in which the wood is starting to somewhat work. Somehow. Also, the music is so over the top, like so dramatic for incredibly basic areas. The only thing that I can say comparing this game to what is it, Path of Exile, is that the game has music that doesn't have that utterly crazy feeling to it compared to here. What is enhanced damage? What? What the hell is enhanced damage? Did I gain more damage? Wait, what? 155, 152. What? What is enhanced damage? Doesn't matter. We don't need to answer that question, I guess. Also, everything is still dropping at level. at level 16 for some reason. What a great game. No, the flask too. Can happen. I have not learned my lesson yet. But I don't know, it's good enough, I guess. But well, at some point I said something and I don't even remember exactly why I ended up ignoring what I was trying to say before. But that whole aspect of, I feel like it's amazing to see games of this sort and know that there are so many things existing and know that it is so absolutely possible. Yeah, I got sidetracked by my own ignorance. No, not exactly that, but the whole aspect of it's amazing to see how many games are out there, and games of this sort, they are good, but even so, that doesn't justify only playing this and nothing else. I feel like most of this stuff sadly does become repetitive once you play it enough times. Like, even if the game is unique enough, 1,000 hours are enough in themselves to actually make it at that point finally become something that you say, I had enough. I don't really want to play much more. I am happy with what I have right now. I don't really need to keep on playing. I have not maybe not experienced every single thing that this game has to offer, but unavoidably have gone through at least enough things to see, to understand that, yeah, this is what the game has to show me so far, and it is all. And my idea, my sensation is that it's weird to see how normal it is to actually only play one thing. Like, I don't know, so many people say that's what I'm trying to aim at. So many people say I have such a huge backlog, unavoidably. But are we doing something to solve that? Because I don't really feel like I am doing anything to solve that myself, so not myself particularly. I am trying to solve it literally by doing all of this stuff. I am trying to slowly move through it by making sure that I experience many of the things that I have kept not exactly hidden, but in that vault that is the Steam library in this case, for example, without ever looking at them before. Now trying to slowly chip away at that huge mountain. Now trying to make sure that, oh my god, I play them and I give them at least one chance and say, okay, now I have finally experienced what you were about. Now I have finally seen what you have to give me. And now I can also live knowing that I gave you the opportunity that you deserve, that I decided to give you. Even the question of if it is deserved or not, I think it is entirely outside of this conversation. Point is that, yeah, so much of it is, oh my god, exactly out of that very same aspect existing in life, and how it becomes the norm for us to have them never play any other role later on. Like, yeah, it's good. Without it having to be absolutely. I guess that's my point. But yeah, I guess, isn't it a noise statement? If you want to move through your backlog, you can. Wow. What a crazy realization. Oh yeah, if you want to fix your life, you probably can too. Wow. Great thing to say, my man. Absolutely so true, brother. If you want to breathe, you can also do that. Did you know that? Wow. Sorry. But point was that, yeah, I don't know, it's crazy to think that oh my god, indeed, so many times there are so many issues of that very same kind always around, and the norm feels like, yeah, I cannot truly have any mode of solving the problem. It just exists, and I am bound to accept it as such and nothing else. I feel like that's the quote-unquote problem. Yeah. Also, I'm not reading anything terrible. Why do sometimes the angles that this thing decides to shoot at are so different from where I am aiming? Like, game mechanic, the thing where you aim at a place and not until you release, the movement isn't released. That thing I feel like it's missing. Like, yeah, if I move my mouse, or even if I keep it pressed, it releases the attack based on literally the place in which I clicked on when I issued the command, the attack command. Amazing. All of that means that it has a weird sensation to it to attack, basically, yeah. Keep watching for more game lessons. Wow. No, I'm just trying to understand why it feels like that. Sorry. Anyways, life is possible to be understood, and the issue is to assume that it never needs to be understood like that at all. It's so sad to see it be like that. King's Throne. Now, Northern Post. I like how there are no descriptions anywhere here. I don't need any anyways, I guess. Also, big enemies are so incredibly tanky. Once the issue is, this game has such weird descriptions, I have no clue if that is intentional or not. Or I am doing something wrong, or whatever, who knows? Who knows? It's... At some point everything will click and I will say, ah, wow, finally. It is amazing. Just like with everything else in life. Also, no, sorry, I finally remember something that I haven't tried to think out for so long. Not that I haven't tried, this one I have an incredibly easy time thinking about it in itself, because it's related to the whole aspect of what we talk about here. I haven't tried to think about that in itself, yeah. I have encountered some weird sensation to some extent of, isn't it strange that sometimes aren't I a person that to some degree understands enough stuff to not be so enclosed to the same 3 or 4 discussions, and I have to accept. I feel like it's bad to say, oh my god, why did the enemy stand lock me? Yeah, I was saying that, yeah, something that I came to realize was I have an incredibly hard time actually translating things easily. Translating stuff into understandable terms. I expected to be far more capable of doing that before, but it seems to not be the case at all. There is still some progress to make in that sense. I still have to do much better. Because I see that in there, I don't have it under control entirely so far. For some reason it happens that, I guess, how do you actually explain it? Is it, I feel like, yeah, the easy answer always is, perhaps I don't understand things that well to be capable of therefore giving a proper enough explanation of anything, because if you say that you understand something well enough, then it should follow with you having an easy time explaining whichever concept it is. But I also, besides that easy route, I have the sensation that there is another thing there related to, I feel like I have the sensation of, most of the time, sadly, it also has a lot to do with the whole aspect of, sadly, good enough explanations don't really correlate with the possession of knowledge. You can understand something, but you cannot easily tell that thing to others. Like, as always, you know how to ride a bike. That doesn't mean that you're going to be a good professor for bike riding for other people, basically. Therefore, that means that same thing is applied here. I understand stuff, but that doesn't mean that I can easily utilize it to teach anything. Sadly. So, excuse me. I am bound to be like that, I guess. That's my conclusion. I am bound to be impeded from ever saying anything good like that. We are condemned to remain all ignorant thanks to my naivety. Sorry, no. Sorry. I'm saying something that only I find funny. Excuse me. But no, still, the actual explanation that I wanted to give to say to mention was that, yeah, I don't know, it's fun anyways. I mean, there is a lot of absence of trial in terms of teaching stuff and whatnot, and that makes it sad, because, you know, there is so much to understand in this world that you not even give it a try. A go, basically, is bad. Because, yeah, so much could be understood once you start to make sense of things, but you never know how much you can actually learn before you try for the first time. Yeah. And that whole sensation is always weird. Because once again, so much of what we see and what we experience is filtered by that very same sensation of, yeah, I might not truly have the capacity to explain any of this sort or any of this kind one. That stems, first and foremost, from a prior notion that might as well have been entirely negative. The whole aspect of, no, yeah, I myself cannot truly grasp these things, but only in the act itself of actually doing so is that the person finally does get it. Like, this is an incredibly weird discussion, because what I am, to some extent, I don't think that's really the point that I'm trying to make, but you could make the argument that, to some extent, the thing being described also is, yeah, that also means that you don't really realize that my explanations are understandable. And because you have the impression that you will be unable to understand whatever I am saying, therefore you are the problem. No, what? That's not the point, right? And what's the point? What a... Anyway, such is life, I guess. Also, this, and this. I like how, for some random reason, everything with this character is chance-based. Nothing better than to gamble. I love gambling, my favorite activity. Why don't we... Why am I playing this? Why am I not playing slots instead? If I am going to be gambling anyways. Something about the ARPG giving you the sense of agency over your build and whatnot. No, we already know. To some degree, there is always that layer of... As long as I follow a build, I can always win. There is no build in a casino, like... I don't know. Play 2 million times the same slot until you finally hit the jackpots. Perhaps. But that is like impossible to actually do for most people, so then it stops being a good strategy, quote unquote. Such is life, such is life. Anyway, I'm going to need to take a break soon enough, but this time a real break. Thank you. The question is when. Great question. No clue. When I hit the next stop, probably. That seems like a good arbitrary point to stop at the next checkpoint / teleporter waypoint. Yeah. I have to find a Gulag enemy somewhere. The problem is the map is so strange, man. Like, I am just trying to justify my desire to not explore everything because it's so big. Don't mind me. Just passing by, I said. Warduck, what? +2 to duck throw. Wow! And this is a skill. Wow. Amazing. Throw a duck over your head that explodes in a small AoE, massive damage. Wow. Amazing, amazing. Indeed, amazing. I know, I'm trying to think. And I feel like the music is good enough, but I have... Is it because it's not loud enough? I don't know, man. I don't feel like it's because of that exactly that I don't feel like it's that great. Okay, I feel like it's way too generic. That's what I actually feel like about the music. Because it's good, but I don't feel like it's that great. It's... meh. But who knows? Also, there was no boss here. Amazing. So necessary for me to be here then. Where is the boss? If not in this... Ah, teleporter. I skipped that place entirely. Okay. I can finally take my break. I love how I was literally next to it. I was probably inside of here, but I ignored it somehow. Okay, give me a second. Turn off Finovia. Here. Do you have anything interesting? This thing. Plus 4 mana after each heal. I don't need. No, wait. You're great, actually. Okay, that's good. And keys. Basic key, confirm. How many keys? How many do I have? Key, 6 key. How? What is my cash here? I have 20,000 cash. Give me like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. There we go. Okay, no more need for keys for a while. But I finally have enough level to actually use most of the stuff that I got before. So I will actually have to pay attention to the items that I got now. So after that, after the break, we will have to organize the wood, I guess. Good enough. Anyways, give me a second. Let me set this thing up, and yeah, I will be back in a handful. No, fuck! A mí me gusta la Pepsi. Welcome, guys, welcome. So, right. Wait, what? What do you wanna say, guys? What's up, guys? Tell me, guys. Please tell me. So, welcome everyone else. I hope you had a good time watching Geyser. He's an amazing guy. I have no clue what he was doing, but he's amazing still. Am I? Is it end of stream? No, I was out to idle break. Do you know the expression idle break? I need to get up from my chair and do something. Expression, I am allegory. You understand? I see, you see, we all see then, okay, yeah. This chat is artistry? Indeed, that's the point. That's uh, 70, indeed. You should activate the... It's so amazing. I love this chat. It's beautiful. There are like 400 words. You can try them. But no. Anyways, here we are. Wow, indeed, here we are. We are here playing... what is this game? Hero Seats. What is this game about? ARPG. What is an ARPG? Diablo-like, basically. What is a Diablo-like? I cannot give you so many descriptions, man. Google that yourself if you know at that point. Anyway, yeah, I said welcome. Hope you have a very good stream, guys. And you said wait. What's up? Why did you say wait? Do you have something to show me? Something? I don't know. But no, if nothing, then thank you for the raid. I hope you can relax if you need to. As always, thanks for everything. Have a great rest of your night, man. You did your show if you need to take a break. And welcome, raiders, also. I don't know. I was saying, I need to take a break anyway, so if you can bear with me, we will be right back after this info break. Yeah. Give me 1 second. I need to leave. Like, I actually need to. So yeah, give me 1 minute, please. After that, the fun continues. Wow. Wow. Anyways, yeah. Give me a second. Goodbye. No, goodbye. No, see you soon. Sorry. What the fuck? What do you mean? What do you mean? What do you mean? What? Are you leaving? What? What do you mean, Torni? What do you mean by that? What? No, I'm not ending. I was literally going to the... What? What do you mean? I was... let me look it up for you. Let me give you a proper reference so that we all are on the same page. Also, because now I have to watch my own stream to have the chat open, I'm getting the rewards. Amazing. Did you know Hero 6 now has rewards integrated with Twitch? Wow. Another reason to buy this amazing game. Not a sponsor, by the way. Give me... what was I saying? Yeah, I know. I was out to Hero 6 Park. I will... meaning. Watch this. Okay, watch this. This is the reference that I'm looking for. This. Read that thing. I don't say I am meeting because I am not a holo person. I am not a holo star. But with your support, we can reach that. No. I was saying, I'm not that, but what I say is idle break, similar enough. So yeah, basically that's what I say when I say that I need to take a break most of the time. But we utilize euphemisms here because it's better. Did you know that when you grow up you get access to euphemisms? You can finally talk in tongues and people still understand what you say, so that makes communication far more nuanced and tasteful and amazing. But anyways, good evening, I'm back. I wasn't ending. I was literally taking a break. Sorry for disappointing you. No. So what the fuck is that? Amazing. I said we need to do a section of me reading numbers until I can finally find something that I shall equip. Don't you love that section in an ARPC stream where the person stops for the next 5 hours reading item description after item description? I also love it myself. That's why we're not going to do it, actually. We can skip over that, actually. Murder of Crows. Wow! What did they mean by that? All the mausoleum. What is this? This is the boss, right? Also, what? This is a wall? Yeah. What the fuck? Where did that guy come from anyways? And he has so much HP? Amazing. Okay. I tried to do all of us a favor by not activating the audio of attacks in the only the music. The music is great, but at some point you get mentally exhausted of enough enemies to whenever you hit them and such. So I don't know, I tend to choose always based on that sort of preference. Like, at some point, it's cute, but after the 1000th time of hearing that very same sound effect, because these games, sadly, I mean, even if you could afford it, no, actually, if you did that, I would probably look at you with eyes of weirdness. Why the fuck would you actually choose to spend so much of your money on getting so many different noises? I was going to say some games probably can, but they still decide not to. But the reality is, it makes so much sense to not to never in your life set the games to have 1,000 different audios for when the enemies are being hit and whatnot. Understandable enough. Like the best. What happens, I think, is games get their audios for each single enemy category. That much is doable, yeah, but to have, I don't know, 20 different death sounds for each enemy, that's crazy. I don't think that's reasonable enough, actually. Like, sometimes I have to accept that I am being delusional. But what's life without a little bit of delusion? What's existence without a little bit of crazy, you know? What's the flavor that wins so if we don't have that much lost otherwise? What is of us if we don't get to have so much fun thanks to that part particularly, you know? The beauty of this light katana, wow. Is that, yeah, even if it sounds irrational, it's all that we have anyways, so it's all irrational, at least. Steam sale, amazing! The Grace stream, no. Paramageven. Smiley face. Destroy relic. Fuck you, Steam sale. Wait, I have the inventory full? No. No. How did I get 2 inventory slots? All of them full. Amazing. Time to that moment when you have to sell everything. This is life. This isn't this good? Like, what do I have equipped? Physical damage? It's good. Gold? I don't have gold. I can actually use these then. Socket. I can socket the damage on that. Amazing. It all makes sense now. Throwing spear. What is heater recovery anyways? Like, what the hell is heater recovery? I like when things get no explanation to me. I have to just guess things. My favorite part of playing games like this is getting... 1 second. A charm? This is... this goes here. Okay. Also, we finally have a mana potion. Great. And extra. Wait, what? What's this? Belt. What the hell? Oh my god. More attributes. Indeed. It happened anyways. I was trying to avoid changing my items because it was going to take 20 minutes. What the fuck is this? Why did I get this? Isn't this like an incredibly amazing item? What? Plus 15 to all attributes? Understandable. If you say so. Amazing. We won. I guess. Wow. You see, that's why we needed to do this. That's why we needed to pause, actually. Wow. What is this? Venom burned gauntlets. Nothing that actually is. No. What is this? Oh, okay, we have it. Would you like to purchase an extra inventory tower? No. I don't even know why I have an extra to begin with. Like, did they gift it away or something? Why do I have one myself? Crafting here. Apply Destiny Shard. Oh my god. We can gamble with this thing. we can gamble to run Mr. Mantle away. Oh my god. Ah, the temptation. Can I craft this? No, I can't craft you. No, you are so unfair, man. Wanted to do this. Craft. There we go. It did work, probably. And if it didn't work, doesn't matter. Okay, we have everything. Now, time to look at stuff here. The question is, why does this thing shine? Does it have any... Is it or something that I am not seeing? Like, what's up with that? +7 to physical damage. I can slot you. Ah, I get a +10. I see, so it has increased effect, basically. What the fuck? I removed it. I removed it. I didn't mean to do that. Okay, so. Enhanced, increased defense. And there's... Oh my god. You can go there? Wow. Wow, this is actually broken. Probably somebody who knows what this game is about is looking at this and saying, what the fuck are you doing? Stop slotting so many important things. You lack the joy in your life. You have drawn all of that out already. You are so such a sad existence. You don't know how to have fun. Let me break my item in peace, man. If I want to break it, I will break it. Anyways. Me with this trauma that I create. Wow. Anyway. Didn't I clear this thing already? No. Didn't I? Really? No, I didn't. So thank you, Tormek. Hope you have a great lurking session. 290 damage. Great. I don't really like the formula for this thing actually, because I understand it. Why do I have 4? Ah no, I was like, why do I have it? I slotted that myself in there. So certainly not. What? Booster shot? What? Why do I have that? What? Huh? 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 Why do I have that? Why do I actually have that? What happened? God knows. Anyways, I was saying... What was I saying? I lost myself. It was so impressive to get a random effect. My life was so filled of bright emotions out of nowhere. Anyway. Something about the whole aspect of, I don't know, I feel like... Oh no, what earlier. This game is fun, actually. I'm happy. It was a great choice. Isn't the slop great? Isn't slop amazing? But no, that's not what I was saying. I know. I have a bit of memory still within me, operating. Oh my god! Here is the real boss. This is the end of the Act 1? I don't think so. Is it? It could make sense. At the very least, it doesn't have any damage whatsoever. Oh my god. What the fuck is that? I wonder how fast a proper wood can actually finish this boss. Ah, I need to finish these things. Ah, I see. Thank you so much for the explanation. It was so understandable. It didn't took me like 3 seconds to actually realize that at all. Also, can I jump over that? Yeah! Wow! Wait, do you actually do damage? Like... No, it doesn't. Why did I jump over that then? What's the point? Only God knows. Kill Gurar. As you can see, I wasn't lying. Ah, no, you couldn't see the achievement pop up. Anyways. But yeah, I got the achievement. Yeah. I have indeed not played this game that much. I played it like once before, and I got angry when I got like to level 20. I don't even remember why. Ah, yeah, I know why. This game has an incredibly funny story for some reason. This game has had like 20 different reworks throughout the years. So, if you ever played this game, let's say in 2017 when it came out or so, and you played it now, you played an absolutely different game. To say that you played it is oh my god, is basically to lie, because you haven't played this version, not even remotely close to this version. But yeah, burst of speed, amazing. Way of the warrior, amazing even more. Why are there so many passives? Ah, I cannot remove. Okay, okay. See, I see your game. Critical strike damage. Wow. So I should be building dexterity. No. How do I gain crit chance? What? Excuse me? Ah, I gain it through the skill itself, right? Like, this thing increases the crit chance 7, so I can have like 45%, 35% crit chance. Which isn't much actually, but we act like it is because because we don't have anything else. What is this? Shurikens now attached to monsters and are ripped off back to the samurai after a short period of time. What do you mean? Shuriken throw now has a cooldown. Doesn't it already have a cooldown? What are you talking about? Can't happen anyway. We're not going to be thinking out that until like the next 20 minutes, so doesn't matter. Energy? No. What do I need actually? More mana? Armor? What do I actually need? Like armor. I have here 6% reduce physical. Okay. So I have currently was meaningless. No, it wasn't meaningless. I gained 1% reduce damage. Wow. That's so good. Identify your items and sell. Crystal Cane of Ice, we're not going to win right now. War God's Lance, we're not going to win right now. Bronze Listen's Girdle. This one looks good actually. Can I compare the item? Yeah. Enhanced damage. Enhanced damage of what? What? Wait, no. Okay, no. Anyways, stop looking at all of that stuff. Got to play the game. Why are there two places? Like, what? Ah, this takes me back, I think. Like, how do we open the minimap? This. Crystal Village. And the other area? What is this other place then? What? Thumbs up. The place that is broken. Who could have expected? No, what? This isn't broken. What? So what is this then? There is a portal that is not existent there yet. Great, right. Environmental telling. Something like that. Well. So much nothing, what the fuck? But anyways, it's what we are here for, to see the world, to see the creations fall. against or mere existence, to see all that inhabits this land be decimated by your hand. The modern person finds the satisfaction that they wanted so much before. Here, exactly none of this. When I get burst of a spell, what do you mean that I have to activate it to get it? What? Actually, what? Gain a movement speed for a short period after killing a monster. I don't want your skill then. If you're going to cost me killing a monster, don't give me the skill. But yeah, I was saying. It's a basic equation. I mean, probably it's wrong, no? To some degree, it's absolutely wrong. The whole aspect of, yeah, because we are rogues. That's why we love games like this, in which destruction is always present, and in which the killing of other beings is boiled upon the very nature of what you do and what's not. Because even if the destruction looks good enough, it still has some icons and symbols that represent that very same thing in a cute, fast way, but still destruction anyways. But I don't think exactly that is the case. Who knows what it is? Ninja hook? What? To ninja hook? I literally don't have a ninja hook. Destroy. Satan's horn. Okay. I like, at the very least, the game is consistent in its demonic themes and whatnot. I have seen no angelic stuff yet, so that's well. Not well, but that's missing, basically. Treasure Master? Wow! Easy. Finally, loot goblin. I want to say I should change the filter, but I don't want to suffer yet again because I have an incredibly difficult filter to satisfy and get nothing at all of good quality dropped to me simply because of that. Life is so difficult. Also, with this thing I gain a layer, no? Take into consideration, yeah. All those XP drops. Amazing. What do I actually want? More strength, I guess? Vitality? I don't have any HP right now, so... I can reset attributes for free. So at least that's that. But yeah, anyway. I sort of remember what I was saying, not exactly recently, not like 5 hours ago. The whole aspect of the lack of explanations and whatnot. I didn't exactly finish with that. Sorry. I tend to not finish most of the things that I say. I have that tendency. I feel like I reach a good enough point in which actually I already done and I continued to not finish what I was trying to say. Excuse me. But yeah, I was trying to say that there is something funny that I feel like happens most of the time, and that is when I feel like you can fill in the blanks that I leave with what I am saying, I continue with anything else but what I was trying to actually say. And yeah, that can to some extent be bad in terms of, wow, truly you're going to not finish the notion. I didn't get it at all. Doesn't matter. We operate under those assumptions and whatnot. We love our mysteries here. As long as they are not inside of a game. The moment in which you include mysteries inside of a game, I'm going to complain. Because I'm like that. I like my games simple, without any dialogue if possible. No, I think I like some dialogue games, but I'm just not of the kind who has patience to play them here. What is here? A great question, as in on stream, sorry. I have already said that before, but yeah. It's something about experiences that deserve to be. For example, I was thinking about that I said it before, I want to continue finishing my backlog. I want to play Grim Fandango. Supposedly it is a very good game and whatnot, and I know that artistically I have seen it. It looks amazing, but I don't want to really play it in terms of, oh yeah, we should play it here. Yeah. It's that cool layer of extracting from that experience by an artistic game. Yeah. It was. I don't know. I think it didn't even came on the golden era of what is it? Of holy moly, I cannot actually remember. Of interactive games, whatever they're called. Point and click games, yeah. But I note that it ended up, even after coming this, or despite coming after the golden era, it passed down as one of the most amazing games of that sort because of how it looked and what it did and whatnot. But I feel like to properly appreciate the stuff, sometimes you do need to take your own time to explore them. And I don't know, I feel like on old earlier, the lot of that here is not giving it a proper ounce of attention like they deserve, you know? Works of art require that. And indeed, it's good, even if it sounds, I don't know, it sounds bad, but it's not really all that bad in terms of, oh no, yeah, I have to commit to what I play. Wow, who could have expected that? So we'll again, another level simply because of this shrine. Amazing shrines! Something tells me, when the game lets me choose, what I'm going to choose is shrines. While standing in a smoke bomb thrown shurikens. Wonderful, I don't even have the smoke bomb skill, so... Quick Lash? What is the smoke bomb skill to begin with? Like, what? This is level 20? What do you mean? This is max? No way! How do I get more points? No! Wait. I'm going to have a mental breakdown. What do you mean I cannot increase its level anymore? What? No! How do I continue my build now? You're talking with me. No way. Sure. My entire world collapsed in front of my very eyes. It all has come to an end. There is nothing else to do. We have to carry die. Why? I understand if you tell me that a level 100 character, like we saw before, I think level 69 die. But why do you actually tell me that a level 14 character died? Wow, what an important level 6. Wow, not nice. What do you mean not nice? It's don't worry. We can endure it anyways. Also, I need frost dragons. Can you give me some frost dragons? Here, indeed. What a frost dragon enemy. Ah, no, yeah. I understood after as well. Sorry, I have that tendency of asking. I mean, not me. Most people actually, but I myself too. No, really. The whole tendency of what do you mean? And after a second of saying that, I finally understand what you mean, and finally we are all in sync, and we can say, I see what you mean, I see. And we all clap because I finally got it, and you finally don't need to explain, but that only happens after I already said what, and now you're triggered because I said what, and you have to explain yourself, and it's life. Life is so complicated. But yeah, continuing with what was I wrote it up and I made the meta commentary of how I moved on from it. But I will try to finish what I was trying to say before about the whole aspect of Indeed, there are many things that one simply accepts to follow through the conversation. Yeah. One has to be willing to let the other person struggle however they have to, but let them do whatever they can so that it can continue anyways. But yeah, anyway, I was saying, why was that enemy almost dead? What happened there? What happened? Halstein and Ketil. What? Oh my god. True. Why is this one enemy so strong? Can't happen. Return quest, yeah. El Panita? I have to go back to base, yes? Buy. No. Identify. And also buy and sell. What is this number? Is this garbage doxing me? What the fuck is that number over there? That number wasn't there before. The fuck is that number? Is that the seed of the place? Probably. But it's getting me paranoid. What is that number? Yeah, it's the seed of the place, I have to assume, because in the fixated hub area it doesn't exist. I keep on laughing, and it has to be so annoying. Me saying, yeah, but now I am going to explain just to continue avoiding the proper explanation. Excuse me. But yeah, I was trying to actually say that, I don't know, something, signifying 60% massive find? What are we talking about? Something that I find incredibly, I wouldn't say irritating, but yeah, funny out the whole aspect of, yeah, you have these degrees of understanding all this stuff and whatnot. There is a lot also of things that seem to not really be all that, let's say, difficult to explain, but one chooses to not even try at all, and the realization that explanations could be given, but one makes all the efforts possible to just, once again, avoid giving them is quite something in terms of, I wasn't expecting really to be this. I'm willing to do something that isn't even that bad. That's what the fuck is this? Mana recovery. When casting, mana recovery to on cast to replenish a portion of your maximum mana. Temporarily increase. Live with the sword. It all makes sense. I never read this thing. So that's where that thing came from. Understandable. Okay. I see. I was like, what the fuck do I attack? This has to be a bugged feature. But no, it wasn't. I was just once and not kidding. Who could have expected that? But it's fine. Anyway, saying that, yeah, something about the aspect of giving explanations to things and whatnot, and trying mostly to make sure that one is capable, or not so much capable, at least trying to make stuff understandable and whatnot. There is a lot of, I can easily assume, it doesn't mean that I am right, but I can easily assume that perhaps, even if I try my best, it won't be understandable, and simply by what is it, psyching myself up into thinking that that's going to always be the case, I end up absolutely avoiding actually encountering anything of proper substance. You end up with no explanation. I end up not having to quote unquote go through the whole struggle of that. It's not even a struggle, but unavoidably I make it. I already projected that to be a struggle, even if it never was going to be one. So we all live a better life because of that. I tell myself, because to deal with the reality that no, actually it was much better if I actually did try. Difficult. Okay, I have maximum level. What do I do now? How do I get more points? I guess I'm screwed or something. God knows. But well, at least I'm going to level up enough to get to the other part of the woods that I was looking forward to. The warrior spirit. Wait, is this on kill? No. But yeah, once again, human nature is filled with those things anyway, so it's not like it always is. Well, no, I mean, yeah, it is still annoying anyways. Like, if you realize that simply because somebody, without any input of yours, decided to give up on what you wanted, that's annoying. The whole aspect of same thing, yeah, as what I encounter when I go to my classes and I realize my professor said, you know what, fuck you, student. Today you're not going any lesson whatsoever. You want to understand? Have a great time yourself reading the book. Wow. Thank you so much for doing nothing for me. But yeah, that same sensation is what applies here too. Of, yeah, you know what? We could have a proper explanation, but what if we don't? What if we skip over out of that and instead continue in something that I can make look like? Can tell myself seems more interesting, quote unquote. Even if that's not the case. But such are the mechanisms that one holds in life. Also, Arctic Tundra. Find Anita's herb. No way. Okay. I already found the thing to... Wow. Amazing. Here. Okay, now what's... Yeah, I have to check the map. In the Crystal Village, indeed. I knew I skipped the other thing. I had a tingling sensation that I had skipped something. The question is to find it anyways, but... If we explore the map, for sure it's going to appear... Ah, it has to be in that dungeon that I... Not really intentionally, but I did skip. But well, yeah. I guess... Ah, yeah. I remember. I mentioned something about the audio before, about the enemy audio, and not having all of that activated at all. And we could try to have it. My point was to try to say, we could try to have it. Yeah, it's so low in volume that you can barely hear it happen. Yeah, okay, no, like this is... No, I can see it actually get tiresome. After enough repetition it gets tiresome, same as with any game of this kind for me at least, you know. It's good, I love the game designer and whatnot, but... Not the game designer, the audio designer and whatnot. But I feel like when I would it isn't really that, oh wow, sounds amazing. Even if you put so much effort, it is still boring. In terms of, or repetitive enough no matter what. So that its whole creation doesn't truly satisfy me having to hear it. After that long, like, Let's say like this. No, well, no. I am forgetting who I am. Most people actually play the games while paying attention to what they are doing. I am not really the only person, but one of those who does. What? When attacking the razor leaves? What is razor leaves? Huh? You're not going to give me any explanation whatsoever? Can't happen. Yeah, not one of the few, but it's always. I like to multitask, quote unquote, so I prefer to. If I have to hear something, not hear the monsters, hear the music. The music is good enough, and not annoying, so to speak. So that I can hear, but the monsters, that is disruptive enough because it gets to be inconsistent every single time, thanks to how una world of every single area contains monsters in its own unique way. The one thing that makes these games, even if you literally get the exact same map generation, you still get a different enough overlay of monsters to not realize that the map itself was different. So simply because of that, I feel like not really that justified for me. But at least we did it. For 1 second or two, we did it. Also, I think there was no worm route. Yeah. It has to be on the second level. But good enough area. Also, what do you even give me? Attack damage and movement speed. Do I really need you? You know what? You win. Just in case you win. It's like such a minimal upgrade. Okay, there we go. My worm root. I will it. Finally. What's that? We actually finished the mission in this area. And I don't know, can we finish Act 2 rapidly enough? Like, I should probably rush instead of focusing so much on everything else, but I'd like to play the games like that, I don't know, man. So excuse me for not rushing every single thing so much. Barred shield. Goodbye. Something about seeing all the stuff that's offered. It's not like I don't even like killing the enemies itself. So I would understand why to say, oh no, we could rush. But I don't really feel like we have to rush. You know, there is no real pressure behind it. Here. Something that is surprising me too is that there is no, what's the name? Increased Omni Slash. Ah, but this has a cooldown, so it isn't. I was like, probably this has to be a skill that you can cast multiple times. No, this is a skill based on attack speed. This one isn't. No clue why it says that it is, but who knows? I was saying anyways, that the whole aspect of... I feel like the only aspect that I couldn't understand is when more advanced players feel like skipping. Whether it is because you have found the mechanic that you actually love so much more to justify entirely skipping all of this. Because I myself don't truly understand it. Why would you truly decide to skip so much of the game if doing maps and all of that is almost the same as literally clearing the campaign? What's the real difference that you gain and what not? I don't feel like there is much to encounter there. But it's justified in that sense of, yeah, you know what, we have to skip because we have something that we prefer over this other quote-unquote boring thing. And we should rather do that instead of wasting so much time here. But part of not really having anything like that is the fun of everything else therefore being quote-unquote valid, thanks to that. Also here, what do we have? Do we have anything interesting? Mana after each skill. Energy, vitality, replenish life 200, replenish mana 200. Wow. Good, good. Huh? Krankerak, good evening. That's right. Handful of days since the last time. No, sorry. Welcome. Yeah. No, I'm a gamer? Yeah. Things, so much time has passed. I finally got a working PC. I can finally play stuff. And I have indeed become quote unquote gamer. Quote unquote. A proper gamer, I guess would get angry because I don't really. I 50-50 have a lot of my attention split to speaking. I play simple enough stuff to not think out anything. I have the gaming gear. What do you mean? Gear? I don't know. I guess. Probably. Depending what you mean. I just have a working PC. No, well, no. It's not a barely working. It's a good enough one. Yeah, it's great actually. Taking into consideration where I live, it's actually amazing. No, yeah. Sorry for acting too nonchalant and whatnot necessarily. But yeah, point is, yeah. Now we can finally play something. Now we can finally feed my ADHD and I can play something while I speak. What a beauty. But yeah, things have changed. Times have gotten better. Indeed, so many efforts have led to rewards after all. What a beauty. Life was full of those things. It was just about encountering all of those by oneself. But yeah, it's, I don't know, I guess I'm happy, just accustomed enough to have already forgotten how horrible it was before. But unavoidably happy because of what I get to have, I guess. Yeah, it's amazing. It has been a while. Yeah, it has been a while. I guess the most surprising aspect is also that they haven't graduated or said, no, yeah, you know what, fuck this. Not like I feel like doing so, but taking into consideration how many people I have seen doing that in terms of, what? Didn't you seem to be so full of desire for streaming, so full of interest for doing stuff yourself? What happened? Why did you give up? So, I guess I didn't get hit with that same wave of, oh no, yeah, you know what, fuck this. Fuck all of this. That's they got hit with. Also, I am incredibly squishy. Amazing. But yeah. It's good enough. Also, what the fuck? I use V-Cord. Is this a weapon? No, this is a belt. Yeah. I knew it. Lightning skill? Mana. Faster cast right. Squishy? Yeah. Very much. I love that every single fucking build that I make somehow ends up being squishy. I still haven't learned my lesson, but I mean, I was watching some clips of Path of Exile. I have been watching, and people has like 24,000 armor. What do you mean 24,000 armor? No way I can have anything remotely close to that number myself. I don't know how to craft something like that, how to create, how to brew a world like that myself. I know that it can happen. I don't know how. But yeah, one day we will graduate the part of Excel University. Not today, not this season either, I guess. That means that you have given up, indeed, indeed. This season is over for me. I should have started the very first tower that they opened. No. It's just that I don't know, man. It's too complicated. I still, if I didn't have to pay attention to anything else, I would do it, but I cannot dedicate so many hours of my day to learning how to play that fucking game. Hope Core was indeed the best hope of all. Is the one that you find inside your heart. What do you mean? Well, sorry, no. Do you mean because of the tag? Yeah, I guess it's the best thing to align the content, quote unquote, to. Not really, like, the real Hope Core is. No, I am sometimes, I am incredibly negative myself too. So, I was gonna say I am not really that close, but some days I actually end up being very close to that content, even if I don't try to. It's like natural to the way in which I like to rant, the way in which I like to generate the Discord. So yes, yeah, I'm a natural at this. No, not really. But well, we are done. This area is fucking done. Nothing else to do. Also, the real hope is when you have it, even with despair. Yeah. Good enough, yeah, true. Absolutely, no, yeah, absolutely correct, actually. But I don't know, I mean, if you have watched what they like to call Hopecore, it's such a different content in terms of whenever. I don't know exactly where, but I know that the place in which I find this the most is when I watch shorts and what's not, or when I used to have that algorithm. And what they call Hopecore is incredibly like fucking depressing in terms of yeah. It's a dark narration, but it's still the true narration. What do you mean 5.5? What do you no? Detrimental increase. This is garbage. I am going to flip out. Whatever. Give me a second. What a video game. So the first level you get a taste of the cocaine, and after that you have to put 20 other levels to gain anything. Wow. Thank you so much for that. So helpful. Anyway, I was saying. What a game. The real Hopecore. I thought I threw myself off the bridge. No, the real Hopecore that you can find on internet, like tagged under Hopecore, are edits of videos, like the narration of them. I guess I don't know. We are all quote unquote adults here, so you should be ready to handle something rough. You also get like the content warning, but just in case, because it is actually rough. Like what I have seen is many of those. For example, one of the staple videos is a clip of well, it's a movie, but it is still depressing enough, even if it is a movie, of the guy who says, "No, I don't want to live anymore," and literally grabs a fucking gun. And why do they call it Hopecore? Amazing question. I have no answer myself either. No, they do, but don't ask me. I don't really have the capacity to tell you. I don't really have the core, probably. Sadcore, more depression core, more than hopecore. Like, I don't know, there are so many of those. What the fuck is this map generation? that are also titled along the lines of hopecore, but I don't know, hopecore still is a weird genre of content. So yeah, the point is, it's a known category, basically. In my eyes, it doesn't really mean much. You should know that probably the person who the unsuspecting reader may actually believe that it is related to hopefulness and whatnot, but the content created and categorized under all of that barely related to those things. So here we are contributing to the same degree of the misinformation. Amazing. Also, I should take a tiny break just to drink something because I have realized I can't drink anything in like 10 minutes, 20 minutes. Oh my god, this enemy is way too strong. It's going to kill me. It's over. No, okay, there we go. So, how do I even get these upgrades into star formation? This skill. What a wonderful game. So many mysteries. Thank you for explaining everything to me so clearly, video game. Nothing better than that. At least, it respects the player and gives the player the opportunity of finding out by himself, but by itself. But we will see. Also, yeah, I have one crystal key, literally only one, so better be something good. School bat. +1 to school bat. And what is a school bat, you might ask? Great question. You will make me fucking lose the... And do you know what else this game has that is amazing? The wiki that is outdated with information from 2024. So I cannot look up what a schoolbat does. So, thank you so much, schoolbat. Perhaps you are the best skill in the whole game. But we will never know. Also, I was looking for this. How do you actually get this? Like, can I remove? No, I cannot remove points from here. Can I remove from there? No. How do I get here then? Only God knows. Critical damage, additional shuriken. Okay. This gives the shuriken a cooldown, so this is bad. I was like, probably the cooldown one, the shurikens attached to enemies are great, but that's not actually a great choice. That's horrible. Actually, it can happen. Why are there two bridges if I can go around both of them anyway? Who made these maps? Who chose? What? Minus 35 damage. So great. Thank you so much. How much I love altars. Will you try bread and water soup? No, probably not. That sounds like terrifically bad. I wouldn't try that, no. For sure. Okay, no, depending. Are you going to give me $5,000? Indeed, I will try it so happily. Yeah, absolutely, I will do it. Absolutely. But no, for free, no, I no. Just for the sake of doing it, no. I wouldn't do it. Everything has its right price. Oh no, how can you say that? Indeed, man. That's welcome to capitalism. What's the meme? It sounds bad, but the whole meme of the guy who says to that other person, the whole for how much money would you do this other thing? We have already established. You know that meme? The meme that yeah. Anyway. It's a song, not a meme actually, but don't worry about it. They're the same. They're actually the same. But yeah, I don't know. I feel like I know. I made a wrong choice today, and I decided to. I haven't learned my lesson yet. I need to not study exactly as I'm going to stream, because otherwise I end up. I try to describe that actually to a friend. I can almost literally feel my brain cramp when I am studying for way too long, or when I am. It's even worse the moment in which I need to pay. Not need to. When I am paying attention to something that is utterly complicated to actually decipher in terms of what the fuck is this person talking about? What is this notion that I am being taught right now? What is this thing? When that happens. Also, wait a second. What do you mean willingly? You wouldn't willingly play this game? What's your problem? Do you hate this game? It's such a great game. You should play it. Spike Girl, let's play Hero Seed, Spike Girl. Sorry. No, yeah, I actually like it. I think I like it. I don't fully know. I think I like it. Sure, you read it? Oh, holy moly. It's coming all together. But no, I was looking for offensive. In a second, I'm looking at a statistic in between the 20,000 of them existing here. What is... What's my attack rating? What is that? Here. What is attack rating anyways? Why should I care about the attack rating then? Attack rating percentage? 6%? What does that mean? Only God knows. Anyway, yeah. That was... Also, I hope you're doing well, Spike. Welcome. But yeah, I was saying. This game is basically a lot of microtransactions. What are you saying? Have you ever played this game? You are so wrong. This game is such... I have no clue now, sorry. Sorry. I don't know. I don't feel like it is. No, wait. I know you used to play when this game had... what's the name? Diamonds, right? They got rid of them at some point. In one of the many 20,000 reworks that this game got, they got rid of the diamonds. The question is when. I cannot answer that because that much I don't know. I know that they did. That's all that I can tell you. Here, where the diamonds used to be, here, bottom left corner, you can see that I only have gold, which is the cash, the real cash. The not real cash, the cash that you get from playing the game itself. There are no more microtransaction money. So yeah, they I don't know, they rework a lot of them. Also, for example, something that recently happened, very some reason as to why I decided to play it. I saw that they said when they were dissing this season 9, they said, yeah, you know what, we're going to increase, no, not increase, give away classes, which those always were also microtransactions. They said, we are going to give them to the players. We are... Give me a second, actually. Hero seats. Free classes. News, November 25, 2025. New classes. Yeah. Free classes and monetization plans. Greetings. We have been looking more into the monetization of this game and have decided to slowly move away from the excessive pay-to-play content. We have been working on the game for over a decade and never had a plan for monetization, so DLC accumulated over the years, and now it looks like a DLC simulator, which is not a good look, nor is it what we want for our players. So, for season... That's why that's... can't happen. And I have to get my fucking password from somewhere. Wait, I think I don't. Loading. Tell me, 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 tell me. Okay, yes, yes, I can continue feeding my addiction, yeah. No, it was the server probably. It had like a, what the fuck, why am I here? It had a moment. But what was I saying? What was I trying to say? Something about something else. Why do I have a mission here? Huh? Return to snowy mountains. Yeah? Here? I mean... Wait. What the fuck do you mean live? My internet died. It all makes sense. Probably I should cut it away. Then I am so clever I didn't realize. Also, I was playing online. And God knows why, I got rollbacked. I don't have the levels that I had before. Why is that the case, my man? I'm no. Yeah, I am actually rage quitting. Okay, that's it. Goodbye. Have a great day. I never realized I disconnected actually. Do you know the ping that you get when Twitch, not Twitch, OBS gives you the thing of, yeah, you have crashed. Not crashed. Notifications here. Here, OBS Studio. It's connected, reconnecting, ... It is on my notifications tab, but for some reason it didn't show up. Probably. Something tells me that I forgot to deactivate the gamer mode. Anyway, if it's going to crash like that, yeah, I guess I have to get it right. So yeah, it was very good. Probably I know what's the problem, and I cannot do anything about that. So yeah, thank you for everything, guys. It was very good, but we have to end it here. So yeah, goodbye. Thank you for everything, for the time, the attention, the energy, the patience, the all. And yeah, as always, wait, let me actually end it properly. Let me also close the... There we go. Okay, yeah. So yeah, thank you for everything. Have a good one. Take care. Rest, chill, all of that other stuff. And yeah, see you next time, I guess. What a sad thing that it actually crashed. But whatever, no? No rest? Yeah, can't happen. Can't happen. Yeah, it's fine. No chill. No calmness. No music. Well, anyways, and as always, see you next time. And even if there is no next time, it was still amazing. So yeah, goodbye. Yeah, no raid either.